in a game that Keith Byers only played one half. As it turned out, the Buckeyes lost their other two games on the road to Big Ten opponents, Illinois and Michigan. Now, the good thing about Ohio is that they catch all three of those whom they lost to a year ago at home, starting with Iowa today and then Illinois and Michigan. It would also seem that the Buckeyes have a slight edge in terms of last week's game. They defeated Washington State soundly 44-0 and looked very impressive in so doing. But let's call in our football expert, Rick Farzano, to get his impressions of today's game and what it's going to take for either of these two teams to win. Rick?
Well, Bill, most of the fans of football watch the running back with the ball or the quarterback throwing the ball. And I would advise our fans today, keep your eyes on the offensive line, because that's where the game will be won or lost by Iowa and Ohio State. Both teams average 270 pounds per man on the offensive line. Ohio State is very experienced. Iowa lost all their offensive line through graduation, and they've got a tough job on that Iowa offensive line. They must protect for Chuck Long, one of the best quarterbacks in college football. And as Hayden Fry said, hey, we've got to keep Chuck Long off of his back. In other words, those offensive linemen must protect him. And Chuck Long can scramble. He's very efficient when he scrambles. He just throws to Bill Happel, number 40, one of his favorite receivers. But a young man, Ronnie Harmon, number 31, shifted from receiver to running back, is their big play guy. He is averaged as a running back, sharing time with Owen Gill, 11 yards per carry. He has over 20 yards per catch. He has 5 catches. Ronnie Harmon, the big play guy for Iowa. And I wouldn't be surprised today if we saw Ronnie Harmon and Owen Gill in the same backfield. Owen Gill last year had a 6.2 average rushing the ball. This year he's 4.4. So when you put Gill and Harmon in there together, you've got yourself quite a running tandem. On defense, they are a sound defensive team. Larry Station and Spitzik. He is a good football player. Both linebackers are good. They have an interception by career. But let me say this to you. I just don't know if those 11 starters will be enough if they turn the ball over like they did against Penn State.
Hayden Fry had a few comments about turning the ball over and also about his defense.
I think that's true. We had costly turnovers last week. We've got 9 new faces on the offensive side of the ball, and we anticipate mistakes. Hopefully today we'll make less mistakes because we do have an outstanding defense.
Chuck Long versus a young Ohio State secondary. Is that a key factor in your favor?
Well, really, it gets down to how well we can protect Chuck. If we can give him protection, I think we can throw the ball.
And how do you stop Ohio State's Keith Byers? Have any defensive scheme for that?
Well, I don't really believe you stop Byers. I think we've got a plan to slow him down. Obviously, it's going to take a lot of gang tackling, tremendous pursuit. He's a fantastic football player, and very seldom do you see just one man bring him down.
Well, it should be further noted that a year ago, Keith Byers gained 98 yards against the Hawkeyes in that first half before he went out with an injury. So the Hawks know that this is a very formidable object. Let's talk about Ohio State and their offense.
Ohio State, the offense, Mike Tomczak, coming back from a broken leg. Last week, Washington State, 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns. Keith Byers, one of them that you see catching the football there. This young man, Tomczak, can make it go, but Keith Byers, the complete back, 163.5 yards per game for Ohio State. He is an excellent football player. The Ohio State defense is young. Pepper Johnson from Detroit picks the ball off at the goal line. They are aggressive, very fast on defense. They are the type of football team on defense that can make the big play. Right here, the ball is thrown right to Terry White. He intercepts, but he was there. The Ohio State defense, very opportunistic. They will throw the ball, and when they throw the ball, they'll throw it to Mike Lanise. But as Earle Bruce said yesterday at the luncheon, we are going to run the football.
All right, that's a capsule summary of both Iowa and Ohio State. The emotion, of course, plays a great role in this game, as will the heat today. Let's get a comment from Jim Bonds about both of those issues.
You're exactly right, Bill Fleming. The heat and emotions will play big factors today. First, the emotions, nothing needs to be said. Iowa, Ohio State, the first conference football game of 1984 for both schools. The players will be ready. The 89,000 fans at Ohio Stadium will be ready also. The temperature, 85 degrees probably at kickoff here. We expect down on the artificial turf of Ohio Stadium, the temperature get well above 95, between 95 and 100 degrees. And throughout the game, we'll be keeping you up to date on the temperature at field level. It could have an impact. Going back to Ohio State and Coach Earle Bruce, we visited Coach Bruce yesterday, and of course his team coming off that great defensive effort against Washington State last week.
Well, it was a great shutout for our defense. We haven't had one since Wisconsin in 1980. So it was a real great effort by the defense. Thomas Johnson had big plays. 10 tackles, an interception, a recovered fumble, and just great effort. And the thing that really has impressed me with our defense, although it's young, it's running the football and trying to make good plays.
Great competition developing at quarterback. Who's going to start for you today against Iowa?
Well, Mike Tomczak was our starter for 2 years and was injured and has come back and is ready to start, and he will be starting against Iowa.
When you talk about your offense, you have to talk about Byers. He is something else, isn't he? After 2 games, he has shown you some tremendous talent.
Oh, Keith Byers last year gained over 1,100 yards. He's a great runner. He carries the ball well. He is not only a power runner type, but he's also got quickness and speed that he can break the big ones. He catches the ball well. He's a complete football player when he has his ball hands on the ball.
The key to victory. What do you have to do, Coach, to beat Iowa?
Well, I think we've got to dominate the line of scrimmage. That's the key, both offensively and defensively, and take away their big play guys in Chuck Long and Harmon.
Coach Earle Bruce of Ohio State. And by the way, Iowa feels like it has something to prove. Last year, of course, Iowa defeated Ohio State here, but it's been since 1959, the last time the Hawkeyes won here at Ohio Stadium. Should be a great one, some great individual matchups that we've mentioned, but the great part about it, it's Big Ten Conference football. Iowa and Ohio State, and we'll return in just a moment. Starting lineups and the kickoff from Ohio Stadium in just a moment. Is he going to count me down or what?
It's Saturday, October 13th. Something's about to happen that's never happened before. In over 120 cities, people are joining together to be part of the Stroh's Run for Liberty, a 5-mile run where your entry fee helps restore the statue. Sponsored by Stroh's and supported by Brooks Shoes. This is not just for runners, it's for everyone. But most of all, it's for her. So call to enter or sign up wherever you buy Brooks Shoes or Stroh's beer.
Sounds like there's a bear in the beer.
What are we going to do?
I'll be right back.
Side judge, and Tom Herbert is our back judge today. So we're all set to go. As Jim Bonds told you, it's a warm day, 85 degrees. Wind coming in from the south, moving the flags rather lazily about. And we anticipate a rousing send-off to the opening of the 1984 Big Ten season. Keith Byers and John Woolridge are deep, and the kick will be booted down there by Tom Nickel. They're the 2 deep men. On the far side, at the top of your screen, is Woolridge and Keith Byers at the bottom. Tom Nickel, a senior from Green Bay, Wisconsin, the all-time great kicker for the Hawkeyes. Hawkeyes have a good contingent today. Sprinkled among all of the scarlet and white is a patch of brilliant gold on the far side. And we're set to go. Two teams that have met 42 times previously. This is number 43. Iowa has not won in Columbus since 1959 and has won 17 of the last 18. I don't know whether that was intentional, but the short kick is taken by Ohio State and moving it up to the 22 or 23-yard line before Jay Norvell brings John Woolridge down. I don't know, Rick Forzano, whether that was intended or not.
It did look like he hit the ball high up on. I think it was purposeful. I don't think they wanted to have that ball returned, and right now, Iowa's got great field position.
Ohio State with the football on the 22-yard line. 1st and 10. We've just begun from Ohio Stadium. This is Lanise in motion. Tomczak on a give to Roman Bates. Slashes up for 5, and Kevin Spitzig, number 38. Linebacker brings him down.
He's stopping the play by Larry Station.
A little counteraction. Pretty good first play. Everybody wants to flow to the ball, so Ohio State says we'll have a little counteraction. You see Rory Graves pulling. Pretty good gain on 1st and 10.
Up come the Bucks, who had an awesome ground game a week ago. Seems they always do have. And Tomczak rifles it out to the side, and Lenise makes the catch at about the 34-yard line. Keith Hunter, number 14 of Hawkeyes, on his back, and that will be a first down.
Out patterns are always timing patterns. You just set and you throw the ball at the sideline. That time, Tom Zach to Lenise, first down, Ohio State. Timing pattern.
So the Bucks move the chain. This is what they, of course, have patented down through the years. Ball control. Keep it on the ground. Just mix it up with a sprinkling of passes. And keep that other team's defense out there as long as possible. Wear them down. Cross buck, and it's Roman Bates getting a couple.
Roman Bates, the ball.
Kevin Spitzig and Mike Stoops in on the stop.
We might add, Bill, that Ohio State went with 2 tight ends that time. Taggart and Groza were both in the game at the same time on 1st and 10.
All right, they have Chris Carter checking in the lineup now as the split end, number 2. Has 4 receptions to his credit this year and is a dangerous man. It's a 2nd down and 9. No score. We've just begun from Columbus. On the 36-yard line, the Buckeyes in possession. Tom Zach getting a rush, and he is down at the 28 or 29-yard line. Dave Strobel, the defensive end, came roaring in from his spot.
Dave Strobel.
Ohio State has only had 2 sacks thus far this year, but right there, you pointed it out, Dave Strobel from the right side puts pressure. There's nobody open downfield. Tom Zech on the first look. Good sack by Iowa.
So it's 3rd down. About 13 to go. Michigan leading Wisconsin in the 2nd quarter in Ann Arbor with 13 minutes to go in the first half. We'll keep you up to date on the other scores today. Tom Zach, oh, it's a beauty. Right into the arms of the intended receiver. That was Leszewski.
Pass is complete to Doug Smith.
Or was Doug Smith? That's who it was.
I believe they have a number change. It is Doug Smith. It's play action. And you right there, Byers again intimidates by the great fake. Good throw by Tom Zach downfield to Smith. First down, Ohio State. Or it's going to be 4th down, I believe, Bill.
Not quite enough. Tom Tupa has gone in the lineup. Tupa with a 46.8-yard average. His long was 60 last week. So he's been quite a find, a freshman. Single man back is Robert Smith, number 2. A sprinter out of Texas. Look at this high spiral driving Smith back to the 8-yard line. Look out, he's dangerous. Oh, he is just snagged at the 20-yard line, or he would have been gone. He was aiming for the sidelines, and all he had to do was find it, and it was an interstate right to the end zone.
You said it right, an interstate. I like that. A world-class sprinter, and whop, there it was.
Number 33.
Kolick, Larry Kolick, was the man, ironically, who brought him down. And I say ironically because Larry was set down for a week of suspension for missing practice a week ago. Did not suit up last week and was welcomed back to the squad this week. So he made a very important tackle right there. First down on the 20. Happel is split out to the left. On the delay, it's Owen Gill, who is the fullback. And by the way, I should mention that Fred Bush, the normal starting fullback of Iowa, did not make the trip because of an injury. Chuck Long, the quarterback, Owen Gill, the running back, Ronnie Harmon, also in that backfield, and Scott Helverson will be the wide receiver. Then we have Jonathan Hayes, of course, who plays the tight end. J.C. Love Jordan has gone in, number 15. He's flanked out. 2nd and 7. Long can't find his receiver. Now he has a man at the sideline, but it's too low and out of his reach. Now another review of the offensive players. John Hayes, as I mentioned, is the tight end. Bill Happel will be the split end. Sindlinger, the center, and listen to these weights. He's 240. Bill Glass will go 270. O'Brien 272. Croston at tackle is 280, and Haight is 276. So what Rick Forzano said earlier about beef up front is certainly true on both lines of scrimmage offensively. 3rd down, 7. Fake draw. Long, plenty of time. Now he's sacked at the 7 or 8 yard line. Boy, the defensive secondary was doing a blanket coverage on everybody out there, and Long, as experienced as he is, knew it was better to hang on to the football as Dave Morrow and Dennis Houston brought him down.
Coverage downfield, nobody for Long to throw the ball to. Tony Giuliani from the middle guard spot beats the center, puts the pressure on. Big sack, Ohio State. 4th down, they must punt.
Ostrobala. Boy, there's a beautiful kick coming out of that end zone, and it's taken by Mike Lanise. He's down at about the 49-yard line, but on the punt exchange, Ohio State picks up some ground. So there is timeout on the field with 10 minutes and 10 seconds to go in this first quarter. No score, and we'll be right back after this message.
Converse All-Stars. They started out on the basketball court, but now
they're everywhere. They're everywhere. They're everywhere.
Converse All-Stars. Look for them everywhere. Official athletic shoe of the 1984 Olympic Games.
Bartender's an ex-big league pitcher and loves to serve fire-brewed Strohs. See what I mean? That was his fastball. That was the curve. Look out. Wild pitch.
What was that?
Relief pitcher.
Strohs and Stroh Light, fire-brewed for smoother taste.
Ohio State has picked up 7 yards on the punt exchange, giving it up at the 44 and getting it back on the 49. So the Bucks come out. No score, first quarter, 10-10 to go. In case you joined us late, Mike Tomczak making his first start today at quarterback for the Buckeyes, coming back from a double break in his right leg. Nice hole opens up for Keith Byers, and he keeps right on blasting. If you recall, before the game started, Hayden Fry says we've got to gang tackle. We cannot arm tackle him. And that's what they tried to do, and you can't bring a 232-pounder down that way.
Well, I'm not so sure the Iowa defense tried to arm tackle. It's just a question that Byers is so strong, and he turns the ball right upfield. He's got strong shoulders, strong arms and legs. First down, Ohio State.
I think, too, that Hayden made a good comment. He said, we're not going to stop him. We're just going to try to slow him up. First down on the 38, a gain of 11 on the play. Byers tries the other side, stopped by Mike Hooks, number 91, the defensive left end. But he's still got about 3. When you realize that in 2 games he has rushed for 327 yards, 4 touchdowns, and has caught about 57 yards worth of passes, you understand his great worth to the Ohio State offense. Second down, about 6. It's just inside the 35. Nice strap, and Byers gets through it. Drags a man to the 27. Keith Hunter hanging on for dear life. Officially, they mark it at the 27-yard line.
Well, we agree that Byers is a good football player, but Jim Lachey, the left guard, pulls and leads him and turns him right upfield. But Byers can juke, he can give you a limp leg, and he's always headed upfield.
After an exchange of punts, Ohio State has started to move the football from the 49 down to the 27 of Iowa. First down. Byers with 22 yards so far in this young afternoon. Woldridge, who has gone in place of Byers, gets his nose on the 25. Brought down by Paul Hufford and Bruce Gear.
So far on every first down, Ohio State is going with 2 tight ends. They're going to show Iowa that they're going to run that football at them on 1st and 10.
And you will see a lot of shuffling in and out. Woldridge has come out. Byers will be the deep man in the eye. Roman Bates ahead of him. Tomczak obviously calling at the line of scrimmage. He's got his man, and the ball is dropped. They're going to call it an incompletion. Jay Holland was really leveled by Mike Stoops. Oh, that does sting.
That was a hit, but Mike Stoops has a brother, Bob Stoops, who was a great defensive back at Iowa, Watch the hit. Great defensive backs make the receivers feel that maybe I don't want to catch that football, and that time Stoops really did a great job.
Third down. Ball on the 25-yard line. No score. Ohio State now with a key play coming up. 8 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the first quarter. Tomczak taking plenty of time on that. He's got his man. It's Chris Carter. And Stoops is on his back, and Carter has a first down inside the 10.
Mike Tomczak drills the football. It's a blitz by Iowa. It is picked up well. Watch Jim Lachey pick up the linebacker blitzing. Tomczak sets, hits the ball against man for man on Chris Carter on a little down and out pattern against Stoops. First down, Ohio State.
8 minutes to go, first quarter, and the Buckeyes have a first and goal to go on the Iowa 8. Iowa in the top 5 defensively a year ago has got Hooks and Hufford and Peterson, Little and Strobel, Spitzig and Station, Stoops, Hunter and Creer, all ganged up in there, and they try to stop Roman Bates, and coming in from behind is Mike Hooks to do it. However, Bates gets it forward to about the 6-yard line.
We've said it many times, the yardage down there inside the 10-yard line gets awfully tough, and good defensive football teams rise to the occasion inside the 10.
This telecast is presented by authority of the Big Ten Conference and is intended solely for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of Ohio State University and the Big Ten Conference is prohibited. 7 minutes and 7 seconds to go. First quarter, second down, goal on the 6. The Buckeyes knocking on the door at no score yet. Oh, what a hole it opened, and then all of a sudden it closed on Byers. Somebody really plugged it, and I think it was Hap Peterson, number 50.
This is what you have to do to great backs. Watch number 50 roll off the block, hit him right there. But number 77, George Little, also pursued to the play, but that's what you have to do. Hit a back like Byers right at the line of scrimmage and try to make him pay a price there.
Doug Smith has reported into the lineup as a split end, number 49, and comes out wide to the right. He didn't even see action last week. Third down. And here is Tomczak, hit from behind. Nate Creer grabbed the football, but it is an incompleted pass. What a shock to Tomczak as he got hit, I think, from Strobel. I couldn't tell who was roaring in on the opposite side. I couldn't see his number. Maybe we can see him. No, it's Creer.
It's Creer coming from the backside, and that's something you always want to do is protect the backside of your quarterback. The referee was a little late there. I wasn't sure if he was going to call an incomplete pass or a fumble. He called it incomplete pass. Fourth down, Ohio State will attempt a field goal.
Well, I tell you, that's a marginal call. It looked to me like that arm had not started to come forward.
I agree with you.
Rich Spangler is 3 for 5 for field goals. This one is up from the 22, and it is good. So Spangler has scored his 4th field goal of the season. The clock is stopped on the field, and Ohio State has a 3-0 lead. We'll be right back after this message from your local station.
When you drive to Wendy's and order a single, you get more beef than the Whopper or the Big Mac. At Wendy's, you never have to ask, where's the beef?
The best things in life are worth waiting for, like a Buick. Buick has been building better cars for years, and now Buick is building the best ever. Best quality, best performance, best in class. Backed by service from your Central Ohio Buick dealer. Stop in today for your value. If he doesn't have the model you want, he'll get it for you, and it'll be worth the wait.
For a good deal, and a good deal more, see one of your Columbus Buick dealers.
The Ohio State scoring drives, 10 plays, 43 yards, 4 minutes.
Ohio State coming out to kick off the football. Ronnie Harmon is deep along with Robert Smith. Number 2, number 31. So here's Spangler, who put the Bucks on the board. A floater comes down to Ronnie Harmon at about the 8-yard line, and he slides up to about the 24, just looking for the opening.
Ronnie Harmon returned to kickoff.
Larry Kolick made the stop. That 23-yard field goal was the climax of a 43-yard drive, and once again, Ohio State keeping the ball for 4 minutes. We have 6:04 to go in the first quarter. Apple comes out to the left. Helverson is split to the right. And Chuck Long has plenty of time. Down the middle he goes, and he goes to Happel. I don't know whether Happel was the intended receiver or not. The short man leaped high in the air. The pass was too tall for him. You'll see it here on the replay.
Long has plenty of time to throw the football. You see the fake, what it did to the rush of Ohio State, and I believe he was throwing the ball downfield to Owen Gill, but Happel was in behind, completed pass Iowa. It doesn't make a difference how it happens, as long as it's complete.
I think Owen Gill was just as surprised as anybody on that one. First down on the 40. Iowa trailing 3-0 in the first quarter. 23-yard field goal by Spangler. Nice hole opens up, but Owen Gill tries to blast through, and Pepper Johnson closes. Let's pause 5 seconds to allow our stations to identify themselves.
This is WBNS 10 TV, Columbus, Ohio.
Some of the ball on the 43-yard line, Iowa, with a second down and 8. Helverson and Happel once again are split, and now they go with a single back with Owen Gill deep. Offset from center. And they switch it around to an I. That's Ronnie Harmon deep. On the fake draw, over the middle to Happel, and he's got it. First down at the 39-yard line. Well-conceived play, and Greg Rogan made the stop.
This is exactly the play that they just completed to Happel. You see the coverage. Ohio State is going to a 2 deep. You see the linebacker's going to jump right there on Owen Gill. Happel comes in behind him. Well-conceived play action down the middle.
Now the Hawkeyes moving the football. Number 2 in the nation offensively a year ago, but many of those guys are gone. So they had to revamp the offense, and Owen Gill makes a nice move, sidesteps 2 or 3 people, and gets his first down at the 27-yard line. Greg Rogan making the stop. Can you believe that Owen Gill never played high school football? He was a rugby player in England.
Good first down call. Watch the little counter action, a fake to Harmon. Then you see the ball given to Gill. It's good against a pursuit team like Ohio State that runs on that first look. Good counter action, first down Iowa.
Owen Gill moved from London to Brooklyn, New York in 1978, and that's the first time that he really played American football. First and 10. He's got a 6.2 average. Not bad. And Long being chased. Throws to the short man, Ronnie Harmon. He's tough one-on-one. Down the sidelines he goes, and he's out of bounds. Very close to the 10-yard lines.
Ronnie Harmon, number 31, the second leading receiver at Iowa last year with 35 catches. He's now coming out of the backfield. Good play action fake, but Long looks over the field. He has great awareness. Everyone is covered at first. His receiver comes back to him. Ronnie Harmon, first down Iowa, and they are marching.
On the 12 is where it's marked. So Ronnie Harmon has given the Hawkeyes life, trailing 3-0. Owen Gill slides outside. And he is down inside the 10. Byron Lee, number 82, on pursuit. Gain of about 3 on the play.
First and 10. The counter play. You see the 2 guards leading Owen Gill. They're going on that first look at Harmon. He doesn't have the football. Gill does. Second down. That's a 5-yard gain on first down. Iowa's in the driver's seat. Third down. Second down.
3 yards.
3 yards.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Second down and 7. Long keeps, pitches it out. Harmon's trapped. Down he goes at the 12 or 13-yard line. You almost wonder on that if Long wouldn't have been better off ducking inside himself. He played it to the short side of the field. Not much room to maneuver.
There wasn't, but the cornerback came up, and then the halfback or the defensive end came up, and they just put the pressure, and there was no room at the sideline for Iowa. Good defensive play, Ohio State.
Forget what I said about him keeping the ball. He really got leveled. Third down, 11. Long checked that backfield over. Fakes the draw. Lofts it off on a screen to Harmon. Harmon dances around, and he is hit hard and slammed to the ground. That looked like a hit that might have been put on by Giuliani, the nose guard.
The same screenplay that Harmon went 80-some yards earlier in the year. He ducks out. Long does a good job of reacting, but watch the Ohio State defense move up, and this is the kind of tackle that you put in Scholastic coach.
Anthony Giuliani, senior nose guard. And now here is Tom Nickel to try a 30-yarder. He's right in the center of the field, as you can see, and he puts it up truly. It's good. And it is 3-3, and this ball game promises to be just as close as it is right now. Timeout on the field, 2:33 to go in the first quarter, and we'll be right back after this message.
And a run to daylight. Hi, this is Bob Greasy for the Sporting News, and we have a play that'll win big for you every time. 2 issues for the price of 1 to introduce you to the Sporting News, the Sports Bible.
That's right. You get 23 issues of the Sporting News for just $9.97. 2 for the price of 1. You can't buy the Sporting News at a lower price anywhere.
It's the magazine that gives me the no-nonsense details of all Major League sports and college action. To love sports is to love the Sporting News, the Sports Bible. Why don't you subscribe today? And here's a friend to tell you how.
That's right, Bob. You get the Sporting News at the low rate of 44 cents an issue. 23 issues for $9.97. That's half the regular subscription price.
To subscribe, call toll-free 1-800-228-5511. That's 1-800-228-5511. That's 1-800-228-5511.
.62 yards in 9 plays as Nickel made the field goal from 30 yards out, and we have a tie ball game at 3. Nickel will now boot it off to the Buckeyes. They have the 2 deep men back there.
For the Buckeyes, Keith Byers.
Byers is back along with Woolridge. Ball comes to Woolridge. Oh, look out. He breaks out of the pack. And he is pulled down at midfield. What a great run by John Woolridge. Oh, that's timing.
We talked to Earle Bruce yesterday, and all he talked about was the kicking game. The kicking game can turn a ball game around. John Woolridge just refuses to go down. Great field position for Ohio State on the 50-yard line, and John Woolridge put it there.
And it was Devon Mitchell, number 21, who saved the touchdown. If he hadn't gotten him, Woolridge was gone. He ran 50 yards last week in just a split second against Washington State. So we know that he's got that sprinter-type speed. First down at midfield. 3-3 ball game, 2:23 to go, first quarter. 2 old rivals battling for the 43rd time. Ohio State with a wide edge. winning 17 of the last 18 games played between these two teams. Byers on the cut, finds the hole. Look out! He could go all the way. Touchdown, Byers, 50 yards. Oh, and what a hole between guard and tackle. Wait till you see that on the replay.
Scott Zielinski, Kirk Loudermark, Mark Karowitz, they opened up a hole. Watch the left side of your screen. Watch number 74, Zielinski pull. Right there, fine block because he made the block on Kevin Spitzik. When you eliminate the linebackers and Byers has sprinter speed, it's all the way choo-choo Ohio State, 6 points.
That is the 5th touchdown of the year for Keith Byers. And he just sprinted 50 big yards. Spangler on the hold of Lanise will try to give the Buckeyes their 10th point. Perfect. It only took 10 seconds for the Buckeyes to score. 50 yards in 10 seconds. Timeout on the field. Ohio State leading 10-3, and we'll be right back right after this message from your local station.
You work hard for your food dollars, and nobody works harder to save them than Kroger with cost-cutter prices.
Save over $20 during coupon days at Kroger. With coupon and $7.50 purchase, save on items like the 5-pound bag of Kroger granulated sugar, just $1.29. Betty Crocker cake mix, 18.5-ounce box, 59 cents. And the 12-ounce can of Minute Maid frozen orange juice, 88 cents, and many more.
Cut your costs every day with cost-cutter prices, only when you go Krogering.
Compare Toyota trucks with any small truck. Nobody else has two-wheel drive sport trucks with electronic fuel injection. Not Chevy S10, not Ford Ranger, not Datsun. Toyota's 4x4s have more running ground clearance than S10 Ranger and Datsun. And this Toyota 4x4 costs almost $600 less than Datsun's. Get more truck for your buck. See your Toyota dealer now. Compare quality, value, and price. It's Toyota, not the other guys.
Spangler will kick the ball off to the Hawkeyes, who obviously have been stunned by that very quick explosion from midfield. 2 lapses by the Hawks. Poor tackling on the kickoff, allowing Wooldridge, first of all, to give Ohio State the ball at midfield, and then just superb blocking up front by the Buckeyes, and the Hawks just didn't react to it. That was the statistic of 10 seconds. Byers now has 72 yards, and I guess you'll recall that I said earlier that in the game a year ago he had 98 in the first half before he was injured. Short kick taken by Robert Smith, and he can move. Look at this hole for him. He'll come to the outside. Before he can get there, though, he is snagged and pulled down. 17-yard return by Taggart. Let's take a look at that surge of that line.
Eliminate linebackers from the defense. Number 74, Scott Zielinski, makes a block on Kevin Spitzik. Touchdown. When you have Keith Byers behind a block like that, you're going to get 6 points.
And so give credit to that great offensive line of Ohio State. First down on the 19. 2 minutes and 8 seconds to go in the first quarter. It's 10-3. The Buckeyes leading. Owen Gill is set back directly behind the quarterback. And Long looks to the side. Ronnie Harmon pulled down. Number 7 is Sonny Gordon, the rover back, assigned to cover Ronnie Harmon. Not an easy job.
Chuck Long is trying to go downfield. There's no one to throw the ball to. He throws it out into the flat, but Sonny Gordon is right there, and he puts the stop.
Yeah, I misspoke. I thought it was Ronnie Harmon. It was 34, not 31. That's John Hayes, the tight end. Second down and 6. Hawkeyes trailing 10-3 here in the first quarter with a minute and a half to go. On the reverse, Harmon threads his way up to about the 29-yard line. He's going to be short of the first down as Terry White hit him. There's a marker, however, and I don't know if it was a mask or a late hit or whether it was just an inadvertent flag. Let's wait and see. Now there is a penalty marker for 29. Number 98 there is Pepper Johnson, named the most valuable player defensively a week ago against Washington State. Personal foul against Ohio State. Might have been a late hit. And there is a Buckeye player down on the field at about the 29-yard line. It's Chris Spielman, the freshman linebacker. And they're attending to him right now.
Iowa really hasn't been able to move the ball that much. And you see the 15-yarder being tacked on. Iowa has not been able to move the ball that much on the ground, only with those little counter plays.
Interesting story about Spielman. He did not start in the first game. And
ball, personal foul on the red.
Earned his way into a starting role after just an absolute fantastic entry into the game in the second half. Played somewhat hobbled last week with an ankle injury. Here's the late hit. See if we can see it.
The counter action. Ronnie Harmon with the ball. Good blocking. You see a lot of Ohio State jerseys down. There you see the late hit by Pepper Johnson, number 98. Good call by the official.
Moves the ball up to the 44-yard line, and they are still attending to Chris Spielman, the freshman linebacker out of Massillon, Ohio. Total of 17 tackles so far this season. He was a consensus All-America tackle at Washington High School there, where I think his father is the principal.
Chris Spielman is one of the most intense players on the Ohio State squad. When they were playing Oregon State in the first game, Earle Bruce said he kept hearing this person behind him saying, I want to play, I want to play, I want to play. And Earle Bruce finally said to the defensive coordinator of Ohio State, put him in the ball game, and they got him in. He played a great game.
He's been playing on an ankle that's been gimpy, and will come out of the lineup. Certainly hope it isn't serious for him. Larry Kolick has gone in place of him, number 33. He and Thomas Johnson will be the linebackers. So by virtue of that 15-yard penalty tacked on to the end of that play, the Hawks have the ball at the 44-yard line. 10-3 is the score. A field goal and a 50-yard burst by Keith Byers on the Ohio State side, and a field goal by Tom Nickel for Iowa. We're still in the first quarter, and I don't think we've seen the end of the scoring. First down at the 44. Good protection. And Long rifles it into the arms of Bill Happel, and he steps out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Sonny Gordon right there to cover.
The test of a quarterback's arm. Can he throw that deep out to the sideline? No question about Chuck Long's arm as he drills it to Happel right at the sideline. Good play, first down, Iowa.
On the 43, Scott Helverson has gone in and is going out wide to the right. Hayes, number 34, you saw there is the tight end. On the draw, it's Owen Gill, and he is hit by Giuliani and knocked down at about the 41-yard line.
Good mix-up of plays. Throw the ball down the field a little bit. Run the little draw play right now because the Ohio secondary and linebackers, you can see Pepper Johnson starting to back off a little bit. He gets a lead block by number 56, Sillinger, the center. Turns the ball upfield, but I'll tell you, Ohio State was equal to the task and only allowed him 2 yards.
Second down and 8. J.C. Love Jordan has gone in the lineup. What a hit, and Long turns it out. Great reaction by Chuck Long. He was really splattered by Larry Kolick, and all of a sudden he just got out of the grasp and gained about 4.
He got turned around by the tackle right here, and he says, hey, baby, I might as well pick up anything that I can. Awareness, that's what Chuck Long has. He picks up third down and about a long 2.5.
And that is the end of the first quarter, and the Buckeyes get quite a cheer as they will come down to the south end or open end of this big horseshoe here on the banks of the Olentangy River. So there's timeout on the field at the end of the first quarter, and the Buckeyes are out in front by the score of 10-3.
believe it? JT with an $18 million contract?
Sure is a long way from the playground.
Think he still drinks Strohs?
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
JT, Mr. Anderson.
Richard. Timothy.
This is all right.
Glad he didn't forget his friends.
Or his Strohs.
Where is the Strohs? Out by the pool.
The pool?
Strohs and Stroh-Lights.
Now that's a cooler.
Fire brewed for smoother taste.
Sounds like there's a bear in the beer.
What are we gonna do?
I'll be right back.
Where's he going?
He's going to get that beer from that bear.
That's not just a bear. That's a grizzly.
Yeah, but that's not just a beer. That's fire brewed Strohs. I thought we had 3 cases.
Well, had to make a deal.
Strohs and Stroh-Light, fire brewed for smoother taste.
Bob Connors here with my WTVN radio morning team. Sergeant Bob Douglas keeps you up on rush hour
Sergeant
traffic.
Bob Douglas, 610 TVN.
Chuck Underwood scores on WTVN Radio Sports. Meteorologist Pat Pagano forecasts from the 610 Weather Center. And the WTVN Radio News team updates your top stories.
Don't go another morning without it. The Bob Connors Morning Show on 610 WTVN Radio.
That's the 3rd news card this week.
Does your financial paperwork look like this every month? Broker statements, checks you wrote, cash that should have been invested. You need Bank One Select Account. The Select Account brings your checking, investment, and credit picture together into a single balanced account. Keeps track of it all in one monthly report. Nice. The Select Account, the checking account that's also a broker, an accountant, and a source of credit. Ask about it at Bank One.
Jim Bond sidelines at Ohio State. You're looking at the outstanding freshman linebacker, Chris Spillman. You see his ankle that has been diagnosed as a sprained ankle, so he is out for the remainder of this game. Back upstairs, Bill.
Boy, nobody feels worse about it in the entire stadium than that young man. Spielman, quite a competitor. It's a 3rd down and 3. Boy, a big hit on Chuck Long. Coming through was Sonny Gordon, putting the heat on. Ronnie Harmon was out there, but couldn't get to the ball. It had to be thrown very quickly and obviously errantly.
Good defensive call, a blitz. Sonny Gordon, safety blitz, puts the pressure on Chuck Long. Iowa must punt the football.
Well, you could almost smell that blitz coming with a 3rd and 3. The ball on the 36-yard line, and Tom Nickel will try a field goal from the 43. This will be a 53-yarder. Well, he's 2 out of 4 so far this year coming into this game, and now 3 out of 5. This will be a 53-yard attempt. It's going to be way short. Hardly makes it to the end zone. So that will give the Buckeyes pretty good field position, I would say, with 14:51 to go in the first half. Time is out on the field. Ohio State is leading it by the score of 10-3, and we'll be right back after this message.
Hey, guys, I'm back.
Catch anything, Riley?
Yeah, caught this granddaddy of a fish. But when I got him in the boat, he says, I'll give you 3 wishes if you throw me back.
A talking fish?
Well, it was hot. I was thirsty, so I wished for a nice, cold Stroh's beer. And there it was. Tasted so good, I wished for another one.
2 wishes, 2 Strohs? And what'd you do with the 3rd wish?
Hey, did I forget my friends?
Strohs and Stroh-Light, fire brewed for smoother taste.
When the race is over and Team Murray's won, try a little freestyle and make your head spin round.
X20 Freestyle, right high.
You take a race-bred wonder, add a coaster brake. Let the other guy worry, cause this bike's no fake.
X20 Freestyle, right high.
It's got the look of a winner, the feel of a champ. From its rad white C-rims to its coaster brake clamp. If styling's what you're looking for,
X20 Freestyle, Murray gives you more.
Well, the ball is placed down at the line of scrimmage, the 36-yard line. I'm not so sure that was the most prudent move in the world because the wind is coming in from the south. It's not a strong wind, but it is a significant wind. And 53 yards is a pretty big kick, even on a calm day or with a tailwind. 1st and 10 for the Buckeyes, leading 10-3, just at the start of the 2nd period. Fumble covered. Now it's lost again and recovered by Paul Hufford at the 24-yard line. The Iowa Hawkeyes. Paul Hufford, all Big Ten defensive tackle.
The first lost fumble by Ohio State this year. It was a bad exchange between Loudermilk and Tom Zach. It cost Ohio State dearly. Iowa now has great field position, and maybe Hayden Fry did all right on that field goal attempt anyways.
Eric Kumaro is in the lineup as a defensive end for Dennis Houston. Halverson split out wide to the right for Iowa. Long, a little bit of heat, throws short, incomplete. Intended for Owen Gill. Larry Kolick.
Well, Larry Kolick left the squad and came back this week, and he may have come back at the nick of time because Spielman is going down. The pressure's being put on by Houston. Watch the hit by Kolick right there. Good play, Larry Kolick.
So it makes it 2nd and 10. Earle Bruce made an interesting comment. He said that Chuck Long is going to complete passes. However, he's going to complete the passes that we want him to complete, not that he wants to. Fumble, and picked up by Ronnie Harmon. Fortunately, it bounced right into his arms at the 28-yard line.
How many times have we said that ball takes funny bounces? Watch the ball right here. This time it's an Iowa bounce. Last week they were all bouncing into the Penn State defensive hands. This time Harmon's able to pick it up and advance it a little bit.
So the Hawkeyes spluttering here with a 3rd and 14 after getting a fumble recovery at the 24. They have it back at the 27 or 8-yard line. J.C. Love Jordan's out to the left side as they split the backs, Harmon and Gill. Giuliani chases Long, and Long throws to the end zone. He got it. It's a touchdown. A brilliant catch by J.C. Love Jordan. What a play by Long.
I agree it was a fine catch by Lovejoy, but Long, this is the thing Ohio State was afraid of. Keep Long contained because, believe it or not, his passing efficiency is better when he throws on the run. Now, he's talked about the strength of his arm. Watch that. He just drills it into Lovejoy in the corner of the end zone. It's almost like the same play we saw in the pregame show to Happel for a touchdown. Wow.
Lovejoy, huh? Well, that's a new name for
Love
him.
Jordan.
Maybe they'll call him Lovejoy from now on. 10-9, and Nickel can tie it up. It's up, and it's good. Let's see if there are any penalty markers. Nope. And it's a brand new ball game. We have 13:43 to go in the first half. And the score is all tied at 10, and we'll be right back after this message from your local station.
Picture your car's engine. Hundreds of steel parts grinding together. Hot, a couple hundred degrees. Buddy, you want to make it last, you change your oil. To do it right, without spending much money, you go to Nationwide.
Right now, Nationwide has Haviland 10W40 on sale for just 74 cents a quart. Buy 5 quarts and get $1.25 back from Haviland, making your cost just 49 cents a quart.
Take the road to confidence. Nationwide, your low-price, good advice auto parts store.
So now we have our Huntington personal credit line.
It's all arranged.
You're pretty pleased with yourself.
I saved us the fees other banks charge.
That's about $250.
That's right.
But what was the rush? You're not planning
I'm planning ahead. Huntington's offer expires in just a few more weeks.
I can't give you credit.
Huntington's given us all the credit we'll ever need.
Right now, there are no fees to open your Huntington personal credit line. So stop by the Huntington to arrange yours. This offer ends September 29th.
Bill Fleming, along with Rick Forzano and Jim Bonds at Ohio Stadium in Columbus, where it's all tied. It only took a minute for the Hawkeyes after recovering the fumble at the 24-yard line on that pass, a 27-yarder from Chuck Long to J.C. Love Jordan. Short kick, Byers and Woolridge. Woolridge. Good hold. Oh, he almost got loose again. He went up to the 50-yard line the last time, and he got to the 34 on this one. Good field position as Ken Sims brought him down.
Woolridge, watch it now. I really don't think I would kick this ball to Woolridge. I'd find somebody else to hit it to. He had a 42-yard average coming into this ball game, but he gets some good blocking. But good kick returners find that little opening. They can turn it upfield, and Woolridge almost again goes all the way.
So the Buckeyes, with 13:36 to go in the first half, find themselves in a tie ball game now after leading 10-3. Two of their leads have been wiped out. However, they've never been behind. Just a blast through the left side. Mike Stoops makes the stop on Byers along with Larry Station.
Iowa's really changing their defense. They're moving their down people around. That time, Ohio State had a little trap on with Scott Zielinski leading Byers again. Block down and kick out. And that's always nice on 1st and 10 when you can pick up 4.5 yards as Ohio State did. They're now in the driver's seat.
Second down, about 6. The ball on the 38. Byers, the only back behind the quarterback. Tom Zach getting some heat. Throws it. It's caught. Ed Taggart, the tight end, at the 48-yard line, and Keith Hunter's right on his back. It's a first down.
We have two quarterbacks, Tom Zach and Long, who have great awareness. A little bootleg fake there to Byers. It's a naked bootleg, but watch, he can pull up. Tom Zach can pull up, and he hits Taggart right there, and Taggart also gets hit, but it's first down, Ohio State.
Ball blown dead at the 48. Taggart comes out. Groza goes in at tight end for the Bucks. Tom Zach on the delay to Byers. Hits head on at the line of scrimmage. Larry Station straightened him up. And tell you one thing, that is quite a collision. Station at 233, Byers at 232 as Hayden Fry paces on the far side. Well, he was a great quarterback at Baylor for 3 years, 11 years at SMU as the head coach. Then he went to North Texas State, is now in his 6th year as the head coach of the Hawkeyes, and has done a magnificent job. 12 minutes to go, first half. Ken Sims has come in defensively as the left cornerback. Tom Zach with plenty of time, rifles it, caught by Taggart once again, and he hangs on as he's hit hard at the 45 by Nate Freer, and he's hurt. Might have gotten it right under the chin strap there, right under the face mask. You get a blow to the Adam's apple, and I'll tell you, it's the most absolutely...
Watch the coverage and watch Taggart come across to the bottom of your screen. Now, this takes courage, knowing you're going to get hit. He had complete concentration on the football on that crossing pattern. Good play by Ed Taggart. He's injured on this play. Watch the play action fake. Taggart went across from right to left right there, but he is banged down and he is on the field, and let's just hope he's not injured too much.
They're going to take a timeout here, and with 11:45 to go in the first half, it's a 10-10 ball game, and we'll be right back after this message.
A forward pass, a lateral, and a run to daylight. Hi, this is Bob Greasy for the Sporting News, and we have a play that'll win big for you every time. 2 issues for the price of 1 to introduce you to the Sporting News, the Sports Bible.
That's right. You get 23 issues of the Sporting News for just $9.97. 2 for the price of 1. You can't buy the Sporting News at a lower price anywhere.
It's the magazine that gives me the no-nonsense details of all Major League sports and college action. To love sports is to love the Sporting News, the Sports Bible. Why don't you subscribe today, and here's a friend to tell you how.
That's right, Bob. You get the Sporting News at the low rate of 44 cents an issue. 23 issues for $9.97. That's half the regular subscription price.
To subscribe, call toll-free 1-800-228-5511. That's 1-800-228-5511. That's 1-800-228-5511.
Taggart has been taken out of the ball game, and we'd like to hear your views on our telecast. This is the address we'd like to hear from you. Right now, we're back to action. 3rd down and 3. Tomczak throws it, crossing pattern to Byers. First down at the 26. Keith Hunter brings him down. And there again shows the value of a man who is so versatile. He's probably got the biggest hands in football. How would you like a size 14
Byers,
glove?
is he a great football player? Number 41 to the right of your screen. He's going to run out in the flat, but he sees that Tomczak has problems, and he turns it upfield and catches the football. He can run with the ball. He can catch it. Earle Bruce said it. We said it. He's a complete back, Keith Byers.
First down on the 26-yard line. Score is 10-10. Quick pitch. And Woolridge is upset at the 23-yard, check that 19-yard line as he falls forward. Mike Stoops, number 41, making the stop on him. Woolridge has been just brilliant today on the kickoff returns.
Again, all it is just reach blocking. Jim Lachey turning the ball. He got a good block by his outside receiver that time. Did an excellent job of coming down inside.
Second down. About 3. Byers gets the first down inside the 15-yard line. Paul Hufford making the stop. We have 10 minutes and 15 seconds to go in this first half.
Coming into this ball game, Ohio State was successful on 63% of their 3rd down plays. That time a hand to Byers, turned the ball upfield. First down, Ohio State.
2 tight ends now. Groza and Higdon have gone in the lineup as Lanise comes out. Inside the 15 at the 14-yard line, and Byers has chalked up his 83rd yard, 8 carries, 83 yards, and a 50-yard touchdown. Doug Smith in motion. Hand off to Byers. Good ankle tackle right at the line of scrimmage. Jeff Drost, number 76, from Indianola, Iowa. And a look at Earle Bruce in his 6th year, talking to Taggart. And it's good to see Taggart wasn't severely hurt there when he got a rap to the throat. This will be victory number 50 if it comes up today for Earle Bruce, a milestone in his coaching career at Ohio State.
Earle's also 34-7 in the Big Ten, which is a great record.
The best record of any coach active in the Big Ten in the last 5 years. Tomczak throws across the middle. It is incomplete. No possession as Taggart bobbled it.
To the right of your screen, Ed Taggart, number 80, after the play-action fake. Taggart just doesn't get his head around in time to see the ball coming. Incomplete pass. It was a drilled ball. Perfectly timed pass by Tomczak.
Carter and Lanise go into the lineup. Doug Smith checks out, as does Taggart. So we have a 3rd down now as the tension mounts. The Hawkeyes, with their goal just 14 yards behind them. Tomczak, good protection in the cup. Hits Byers, touchdown. Keith Byers seeped inside the secondary and scores his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. In the same corner. He got a touchdown a week ago. They may call it Byers Corner.
That's a Byers market, I'll tell you. Woo! But again, he adjusted. He went out into the flat just like he did a couple plays before that. Turned it out to the flat. He saw that Tomczak didn't have him. He turned it upfield. Touchdown, Keith Byers from Tomczak.
And look how many Iowa players were there. 3 of them. And he got right in the perfect position. Tomczak is now 7 out of 9 for 89 yards and a touchdown. And it is a 16-10 game. And as Spangler puts his foot into it, he makes it 17. So timeout. 9:07 to go in this first half. The Buckeyes have scored to make it 17-10, and we'll be right back after this message from your local station.
Welcome to Rex. Relax and just say Philly beef and cheese, please.
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 Wow. Roast beef, Swiss cheese, sauteed mushrooms, green peppers, and onions on our new natural grain roll with a make-your-own-side salad, only $2.99. Just say
Philly beef and cheese, please. Philly beef and cheese, please. Philly beef and cheese.
Now at a great price at Rex.
Friends, Chrysler Plymouth East in Columbus says, buy any brand new 1984 car or demonstrator in our inventory before October 1st, and we'll give you a TRS-80 color computer, and we'll show you how to use it. That's right, friends. Look at this car. This is brand new 1984 Chrysler LeBaron with air conditioning. You can finance it $49 down, $239 a month, or $9,988. Now look at the E-Class. Brand new 1984 Chrysler E-Class with air conditioning, $9,988. We'll see you here.
Earle Yoder, go to gate 1.
This looks like one of those games that whoever has the football last will win it.
We may need a 3-digit scoreboard. There you see it. 10 plays, 66 yards, and they have been keeping the ball. The Ohio State offense has.
9 minutes and 7 seconds to go in the first half. A 17-10 game. And here's the boot by Spangler. It'll be high and it'll be deep. Robert Smith will not run it out. So the Hawkeyes will have a chance to get their offensive machine in motion here. What a dimension it must add for a coach's repertoire to have a guy like Byers who can run inside, outside, and be a great receiver.
Make adjustments on passing routes. You can work with receivers forever and not get them to understand the adjustments on pass routes when the quarterback is having problems. Byers just adjusts naturally.
So here come the Hawks. Trailing now by 7. Owen Gill doesn't find much as Johnson makes the stop on it. I guess Jim Bonds has a report for us.
A few minutes ago, Bill, you saw Ed Taggart, the big tight end, the sophomore from Akron of Ohio State, being helped off the field. For Ohio State fans, some good news. He was only shaken up. He'll be back in probably the next series. Back upstairs to you, Bill.
Yeah, well, it's now 8:39 to go in the first half. Ohio State leading 17-10. Incomplete. Intended for Quinn Early. A lot of pressure put on Long today.
Great pass defense is made up of pressure and coverage. Everyone is covered downfield. He has to throw the ball when he doesn't want to throw it. Incomplete pass, Iowa for Chuck Long.
Long is 6 out of 10 for 65 yards and a touchdown. In total yardage, Ohio State has 170 to this moment, and Iowa 107. Intercepted on the deflection, and it's Larry Kolick. He goes all the way for a score.
I would say Larry Kolick has come back in style at Ohio State. He gets the tip ball, and again, that's what linebackers are supposed to do. Get tip balls, read his eyes, read Chuck Long's eyes, get up there, get the tip ball, take it in for 6. Larry Kolick has made a great return to Ohio State football.
Larry Kolick is a junior from Smithville, Ohio. And what a thrill it is for him getting his first Buckeye touchdown on a 25-yard return of a deflected pass. Spangler will try for the 24th Ohio State point. It's good. And so the Buckeyes have a 14-point lead, and the Hawkeyes now are going to have to really scramble against a very, very tough Ohio State defense.
Hayden Fry said, I'm concerned about turnovers. That's exactly what has happened here. He's had turnovers by his offense. He's given Ohio State field position. That time a touchdown. Turnovers will kill you.
And the Buckeye Battle Cry being played by the Ohio State Marching Band under their new director, John Woods, this year. Paul Drosty having retired after 14 fine seasons. You'll be hearing the Ohio State Marching Band, 192 strong, at halftime. By the way, there was a wonderful tribute to the Ohio State Olympians here prior to the game. And Ron O'Brien, a diving coach from Ohio State, had a big surprise for him when he was introduced. It was announced that Greg Louganis had made the trip from California just to be here today, the Olympic gold medalist in springboard and also in platform. Ball hits and goes out of the end zone, and the Hawkeyes will take it on the 20. Well, that was a touchdown, I guess, that you just don't count on. All of a sudden, the defense comes up, gets a deflected pass, goes 25 yards, and instead of being up by 7, you find yourself up by 14. I don't know, Rick, from a standpoint of a coach, what Hayden Fry says, other than, well, it's a bad break, let's go after it again.
Fortunately for Hayden Fry, he has an offense that can score. They're explosive, so Hayden knows his offense can come back in this football game.
Bill Happel is out wide to the right. And J.C. Love Jordan, who has Iowa's only touchdown, is out on the right side. Long throws to Happel, out of bounds. The 29, a gain of 9, as Greg Rogan, a freshman out of Urbana, Ohio, makes the stop on him.
The outside cut, as I said earlier, is one of the toughest to throw. Chuck Long drills it, but Rogan makes Happel pay a price.
2nd and 1. 8 minutes and 14 seconds to go in this first half. Long is 7 out of 11 for 74 yards. Ronnie Harmon, pretty good change of direction there when he saw his path was blocked, and he gets it up to about the 35-yard line. Robert Smith was blocking on the play.
Intelligent running by Ronnie Harmon. He sees it blocked to the outside, makes a good cut, but Pepper Johnson does an excellent job of coming back to the inside and making the tackle.
First down, just short of the 35-yard line. 24-10, Ohio State leading. It's been a brilliant first half. Fumble, and it's covered by the Buckeyes. Chuck Long, on the exchange, I believe, didn't have a hold of the football, and Pepper Johnson comes up with it.
I believe the reason he fumbled the football, he changed the play at the line of scrimmage, and then Ohio State changed their defense. I believe it confused Chuck Long, and he pulled away from the center too soon. Turnover, Ohio State picks it up.
Boy, I'll tell you, the Hawks are just falling apart here after that mishap.
It's almost like Hayden had a premonition. He kept talking about turnovers.
Yeah, that's true. They had 3 fumbles and an interception against Penn State last week. And now, just on the heels of the deflected pass and the interception for a touchdown, the Hawkeyes have fumbled the ball. Byers throws a long pass. Lanise catches, touchdown. What else can he do?
Well, I saw him sweeping the stadium yesterday, but other than that, I want to compliment the Ohio State offensive coaches. After a turnover like that, Iowa is down. Their defense is thinking we're back out on the field again. They come out, they're ready to go after Byers. He picks the ball up, throws it for 6 points to Lanise. Excellent offensive call by the offensive coaches at Ohio State. And watch this left-hander. Now he'll really surprise me if the next time he comes out and he throws it right-handed.
No, he's coming out of quarterback. 35-yard touchdown pass from Keith Byers. And here it is one more time, and Lanise was wide open.
That young man, Byers, I'll tell you, I'd make him live in the house next door to me.
And the extra point is up by Spangler. It's good. They're holding off on the call. Now they say it's all right. There was I thought there might have been a marker down. So, can you believe that? The Ohio State Buckeyes with a pass from Byers, making it 31-10. The Big Ten football season doesn't end on the last Saturday of play. In the last 5 years, Big Ten postseason football action has been at its highest level ever. 7 conference teams have made 20 separate appearances in 10 different bowl games around the country, giving support to the statement that Big Ten football is America's most popular spectator sport. In 1983, once again, the Big Ten led the nation in attendance and is also doing it in 1984. What a roar for the Ohio State Buckeyes. The defense and the offense, both playing superbly here, carrying to a 31-10 lead. I truthfully don't believe the scoreboard. 7:41 to go in the first half. Once again, we remind you that SportsView and the Big Ten hopes you're enjoying today's game, and we'd like to hear your comments. If you have a question or a comment, just write to us at SportsView, 701 Broadway, Suite 300, Nashville, Tennessee, and the zip code 37203. Well, Keith Byers has run for a touchdown, caught a touchdown pass, and thrown for a touchdown. And Ohio State now has 205 yards total offense to 123 for Iowa. Another deep kick. This will carry out and will come to the 30 now. The new rule this year says that if the ball goes out over the end line on the fly, the receiving team will get it 10 yards farther up the field. Let's take a look at some other scores. At halftime, Michigan leading Wisconsin 10-0. Clemson is leading Georgia 10-3. At half, Penn State over William & Mary 35-7. And in the fourth quarter, Maryland has taken the lead over West Virginia 17-14. Temple, get this, has defeated Pittsburgh 13-12.
What an upset.
Now, we have that as a final, but I'm telling you, I'm going to question it because unless that game started at 11:30, I would wonder if it was, in fact, the final. It's only 3 o'clock Eastern time. So hold off on that. It is 13-12 Temple, but whether it's a final or not, there's a deflected pass that goes into the arms of Owen Gill. And the Hawkeyes get a break for 16 yards.
That time, if you're an Iowa fan, it went to the right number 33. Owen Gill on the tip pass. But Ohio State is putting the pressure on, and they are getting great coverage downfield. The only person open is underneath to Owen Gill, but I do not believe they were going to Owen Gill. I think they were going to Happel again.
Robert Smith is out wide to the right. There's a good shot of Gill in with the twin set. Harmon next to him. Chuck Long over the middle. He's got Gill this time, and it's close to a first down as Gill is still on his feet. Down the sideline. Good block, and he's cutting inside, and he fumbled the ball right into the arms of Sonny Gordon. Dennis Houston made the stop. Sonny Gordon was there, and Ohio State will get the football.
I was just getting ready to compliment Ronnie Harmon, number 31, for the great block he puts downfield after Owen Gill catches this ball. Watch the right side. Watch that run. Now watch the right side of your screen. The block by Ronnie Harmon. Another turnover by Iowa, and Sonny Gordon recovers, and Ohio State is going the other way.
I'm sure our fans in the state of Iowa are wondering what in the world can go wrong more than has happened. Deflected pass for a touchdown, fumble recovery, another fumble recovery. 7:08 to go in the first half, and the Bucks have the ball in their own 15, grinding it forward to about the 21-yard line is Roman Bates. So 3 turnovers have really been costly.
It's been costly for a number of reasons. The Iowa defense has been out there a long time today. It's very hot. You're dejected. You're even more tired than the team that's against you right now, Ohio State. it's moving the football and winning. When you lose, you get tired fast.
Ohio State 31, Iowa 10. We're still in the first half with 6.5 minutes to go. Not much of a hole there on the left side of the line as Hap Peterson and George Little closed in on Woldridge.
Peterson.
Third down, about 3.
And George Little.
Third down. So a big play for the Hawks. They got to stop them here to get that punt. Well, to be 21 down at halftime is going to be a big burden. Byers seeps inside. He may have gotten the first down. When he gets trapped, notice how low he goes. He realizes he's got enough momentum to slide forward. However, they mark the ball back just short of the 25. It'll be about 4th and 2 feet. Dave Strobel making the stop.
Bill, you bring up an excellent point. The way Byers, he just dives, he puts his shoulders in. That time they said his knee hit first, so they brought the ball back on the spot.
Byers has 10 carries for 86 yards, a touchdown by running, a touchdown by receiving, and a touchdown by throwing. Taggart and Groza, 2 tight ends have gone in, and Hayden Fry still trying to pep his Hawks up from the far side of the field. He was really worried about this game. There's no question about it. Not so much because he knew that Ohio State had so much strength. He's very concerned about his offensive line. And he was wondering if his defense could contain the Ohio State offensive line. And I think Jim Bonds has a word.
Bill, just a thought, well, we do have a timeout by Ohio State. Very important series, obviously, for the Iowa football team, because Ohio State, their bench right now, they're sky high. And you get the Ohio State offense back out there after they punt this time. Well, Iowa's got to stop them. At least give the defense some self-confidence and keep it at least the score it is. Down only 21 at halftime. Very important series.
We were just checking on that Temple Pitt score, 13-12 that we gave you. Once again, we checked in the Ohio State press box, and they do verify that it was a final score.
Cassidy and Archie Griffin.
One of the magazines, national magazines, had Pittsburgh the #1 team in the country preseason. Here's Tom Tupa. A 21-point lead. The Buckeyes now give the ball up. Oh, what a kick. That sends Smith way back to about the 5-yard line. And down he goes at the 14. Well, the Hawkeyes have plenty of time. 4 minutes and 49 seconds to go in this first half as Larry Kolick made the stop on Smith. However, with a 21-point deficit, the question is, what do you do? Do you just try to keep control of that ball and make a sustained drive, or do you try to pick them all up?
Well, Iowa is a big play football team. They like to score quickly, but the biggest thing you have to do in this situation is have patience and don't try to get it all back at once.
Well, especially when you still have 30 minutes of football in the second half.
Absolutely.
Look at Wisconsin last week against Missouri, down 28-7, and they win at 35-34. Ronnie Harmon scoots outside. Pretty good stop by Greg Rogan, the freshman, who comes up and contains Harmon, who's elusively fast.
A power sweep, go to the short side of the field, but the short side corner for Ohio State, number 29, Greg Rogan, keeps him contained from the outside in, but he still picked up good yardage, 2nd and about 2.
4 minutes, 42 seconds to go in the first half. Ohio State 31, Iowa 10. What does not show up on that scoreboard are the 3 costly turnovers. If you figure a score for each one of those, there's your 21 points. Nice hole opens up, and a first down by Ronnie Harmon as Larry Kolick and Sonny Gordon make the stop.
There's another flag on the play, Bill. Right there, good running again by Harmon. There you see the late hit by Ohio State. Oh, I thought they called it a late hit, but they didn't.
Let's pause 5 seconds to allow our stations to identify themselves.
This is WBNS 10 TV, Columbus, Ohio.
Ohio State playing a little softer now, and Gill completes that one up to about the 39, or maybe the 40-yard line before Kolek brings him down. I said earlier, and I think it bears repeating, that Earle Bruce's philosophy coming into this game was to allow Chuck Long to complete the passes that Ohio State wants him to complete, but not that he wants to complete. And that's really, except for the one touchdown pass in the end zone, has been the story.
They've been throwing Chuck Long, and Iowa have been throwing to their backs about 85% of the time because they're the only ones open.
4 minutes to go in the first half. On the draw, Ronnie Harmon. Good play, good hole. First down, and he blasted into about the 39-yard line before Cummerall brings him down.
Ohio State is backing way off. Their linebackers are lined up deep. They're backing all the way back. Good block downfield. Harmon again on the draw, does an excellent job. The draw has been probably the most successful play for Iowa today. The running play, that is.
First and 10 on the 39-yard line. Ohio State leading 31-10. Harmon again has a good opening on the left side of the line and struggles to the 30. Ronnie is a junior out of Laurelton, New York, and the leading rusher with an 11-yard average coming into today's game.
We talk about Keith Byers, but Ronnie Harmon is no slouch, and he goes on the counter action and turns it upfield. I keep saying it, but great backs turn the ball upfield and get every inch they can, and Ronnie Harmon, Keith Byers, Owen Gill, those people do it.
3 minutes, 5 seconds to go in this first half. Second down, 2 for the Hawkeyes, trailing by 21 points. On the fake draw now, Long has plenty of time. Throws it deep. Man is alone in the end zone. Touchdown to Flagg. Mike Flagg, the tight end, had gotten deep in the end zone. Terry White was standing there and was absolutely helpless to get to him. What a play. 31-16.
Second touchdown for Iowa on a scramble play. The pressure's on Chuck Long. At first, he can find no one downfield. Ohio State had a partial blitz on for their inside linebackers, and they made the mistake, the secondary, of leaving Mike Flagg all alone. He was catching a cold right in the end zone. Touchdown, Iowa. Watch the full field coverage. There is no one open right now. Now Flagg just starts to drift to his right, and he's open, wide open in the end zone. I believe Terry White just left him.
And the extra point is good by Tom Nickel to make the score 31-17. I imagine Terry White is going to have a little session with his defensive secondary coaches. He's been burned twice.
Of course, we're conjecturing it was Terry White. It might have been a zone coverage. It might have been someone else, but he was the closest guy, if there was anybody close to the receiver, Mike Flagg of Iowa.
I think the point that you made earlier is that Iowa is a team that is explosive, that can score quickly, and certainly the Hawkeyes prove that. We have just 2:49 to go, and the margin has been narrowed to 14 points, 85 yards in 6 plays. Next Saturday, Sportsview presents the Boilermakers of Purdue, and they will invade Spartan Stadium in East Lansing to face the Spartans of Michigan State. That'll be at 3:30 Eastern Time, so we invite you to be with us for the Big Ten Game of the Week on Sportsview next week, and then in 2 weeks, we'll be in Ann Arbor for that rivalry between Michigan and Michigan State. Keith Byers and John Woolridge are back, and I don't believe they will try to kick it to either of these two. I think they may go for the short kick again. The Hawks have been burned by a couple of real long kickoff returns, one of almost 50 yards, the other of 34 by Woolridge. Yep, they kick it short. And it's hard to handle. Picked up by one of the short men. That's Barry Walker, who is the second-string fullback who plays on the specialty team, and he's on the 26-yard line.
Bill, you should have been a special teams coach. You called that perfectly. Boy, give him that knuckleball and eliminate Woldridge bringing up the field.
Now what Iowa has to do is to concentrate on getting the football back with 2 minutes and 43 seconds to go in the first half. Lanise goes out wide to the right. He was on the receiving end of that Keith Byers left-handed touchdown pass. Pitch to Byers. Strobel contains it well. Down on the 27-yard line. Gain of about a yard. Strobel turns it in, and Little is there to make the stop.
97 and 77. 77, George Little gets it from the inside. 97, Dave Strobel turns it in from the outside, just like you called it, Bill. 97 turns it in. 77, George Little pursues down the line. Good defense by Iowa.
Of course, what Iowa would like to do here is, at least with about 30, 40 seconds to go, if I figure it correctly, making the fourth down play and getting the punt. Good opening for Byers. He staggers forward, short of the first down. He's right on the 30-yard line. A lot more authority on those tackles now as Mike Hooks, number 91, makes the stop.
I would look for Iowa to call a timeout right now to stop the clock. They have 3 timeouts left. Ohio State's coming up with a third down. If they can stop them, Iowa will have plenty of time on the clock.
And they did it. They listened to you, Coach.
If they did, they're not too intelligent down there.
1:46 to go in the first half. And Iowa has used one of its timeouts, so each team has 2 remaining. Here's another score in, by the way. As you look at the statistics on this $2.5 million scoreboard that is new this year. In the third quarter, Wisconsin has scored now and leads or is trailing Michigan by only 3. Michigan 10, Wisconsin 7. In the first quarter, Purdue leading Minnesota 3-0. Here's a funny one. Northwestern 2, Indiana nothing in the first quarter. Sure that isn't a Cub score?
What is 2-0 a forfeit or what? I've never.
I believe it's a safety.
Yeah, safety.
Come on, Coach.
Or 2 rouges if we were in Canada.
Aiden Fry. Certainly not one to be discouraged, even though his team is down 31-17. He knows he can score quickly. Now time is in.
Big defensive play for Iowa. Stop them here, take over the ball, and still have a chance to get some points on the board before they go in at the half.
3rd and 6. Carter has gone in place of Holland. Lanise is in motion. Look at Byers. Goes outside. No, good fake, and it's Strobel on the quarterback. Thought for a moment Byers on the fake had gotten the ball, but it's a sack back about the 27-yard line. Let's look at the ball handling again.
I'm sure Ohio State thought that Iowa would be so anxious to jump on the ball that they would forget Tomczak on the bootleg. But Dave Strobel, number 97, alert defensive play. You're responsible for the bootleg. He knocked Tomczak down.
I'll tell you one thing. If Byers had gotten the ball, the man who was covering him stumbled and was down on the ground, and Byers could have gone all the way. 4th down. A little over 8. Tom Tupa, the freshman, has gone in the lineup. Robert Smith is back.
Earle Bruce says Tom Tupa is the best punter he has ever seen, and that is saying something. They've had some great punters at Ohio State.
Wisconsin 7. First quarter, Northwestern 2, Indiana 0.
Good look at Tupa.
And first quarter, Purdue 3, Minnesota 0.
Watch how high he gets that leg. He had a 60-yarder last week. I'll tell you, a freshman averaging almost 47 yards a kick is impressive. Look at this one. Smith has to back up for it at the 22. Ooh, big hit at the 32-yard line by Scott Leach on the specialty team, number 8. So it is on the 32-yard line. We have 1 minute and 24 seconds to go. as the Hawks were able to maneuver that clock rather well with their skillful use of the timeout. That was a 51-yard boot by Tupa, which will increase his average a little bit. Now, Rick Verzano, what do the Hawks do?
Well, they stay with their game plan of trying to hit the ball to the outside, but they have timeouts. I would say one of these times they're going to take the ball and take it right in the inside.
Look at this. Ronnie Harmon on the draw. And he runs out of bounds at the 44-yard line to stop the clock as Jeff Cargile was on his trail.
I've seen so much awareness by players out on the field today. Ronnie Harmon on the draw knows he wants to pick up as many yards as he can, but he wants to get the ball to the sideline and get out of bounds, and watch him get out of bounds. Good play, good thinking, Ronnie Harmon.
First down on the 44-yard line. 1:17 to go, first half. It's a 31-17 ball game. Mike Flagg, who has just scored the most recent Iowa touchdown, split out. Long throws to Harmon. Harmon goes out of bounds at the 49-yard line. 1:10 to go. I'm sure what is in the mind of the Hawkeyes is to get it close enough. If they can't get the touchdown, at least get 3.
But Ohio State is giving Iowa the underneath stuff, and Iowa is taking it just like there to Ronnie Harmon again, a good little juke. Ohio State's defense is really dropping way back, and they're saying if you're going to get in there, you're going to get in there with the short stuff and use the clock up, but Iowa is getting out of bounds and stopping the clock.
Owen Gill on the draw. Runs into his own man and gets it inside the 30. Brought down by Terry White and Sonny Gordon. Well, now things are getting interesting. 1:03 to go in the first half. Hawks go without a huddle.
The offensive coaches of both teams are right on the ball. They're calling things the right way. Draws, sideline stuff for Iowa. Good plays.
Long looks to the sidelines and throws it out of bounds. Stops the clock, 55 seconds to go. He had to burn it down to do that.
Chuck Long saw Happel covered down the sideline. Happel had been shoved out of bounds, and wisely Long just threw the ball further out of bounds. He knew no one could intercept it.
J.C. Love Jordan races in, number 15. He scored a touchdown for the Hawkeyes, their first TD of the day. Flagg got the second one, and the field goal by Nickel accounts for the 17 points. Well, there was a marker thrown before the ball was snapped. I would suspect a delay here. Procedure, somebody moved. So it'll cost him 5. Pick it up from the 29 back to about the 34-yard line.
I think that's one of the best calls they've made as far as penalties. You remember when the offensive person used to move on the offensive line, they would just jump and really cream him, and there were injuries and there were fights involved. Now when he moves, they stop it, and it's a penalty, and I think it's a good call.
53 seconds to go.
Illegal snap. Offense.
Well, I guess there wasn't much question about that. Out of time for Long, over the middle. And it's complete to the 25-yard line of Bill Happel. Iowa has one more timeout, and the clock is moving. 34, 33. Long marks the play to either side. Pretty soft on the defense, and now it closes on him, and Long spins around and is knocked down at the 23-yard line. Everybody was covered. He couldn't do a thing with it except eat the football, and he's down with 13 seconds to go using the last timeout. Now, if we speculate here on the field goal, it's going to have to be somewhere about 40 yards.
Well, they really don't have any choice, but I believe go for the field goal, and Hayden Fry's got his hands up. He's not sure, and he's saying, How did the pass protection break down? Where was the... But it was great coverage. You called it. You said there was no one open, and there wasn't. Long had no one to throw to. The rush finally did get to him, and Long almost came out of it, showing his great athletic ability. But it's now 4th down. I don't believe they have any choice. I believe they've got to go for the three-pointer.
Well, I remember a young fellow by the name of Tom Nickel who kicked a 52-yarder a couple of years ago in Ann Arbor to beat Michigan 9-7 in a hair-raising game. .13 and it's 31-17. It's obvious that to be only 11 down rather than 14 would be a big boost.
And a few moments ago, they were 21 points down, and this shows you the character of college football teams. They can come back. They're never out of a football game.
Be about a 41-yard try.
Number 52, Brian Foley. Number 12, Mark
Vlasic holding, and Nickel will try into the wind. And he's got enough foot. It hangs up there. Looks pretty good. It is. Tom Nickel has given the Hawkeyes their 20th point. And so after failing on a 53-yarder earlier, he puts a 41-yarder up and through. And with 8 seconds showing on the clock, the Hawkeyes have come back from a 21-point deficit to trail now by 11. And the strategy here is, where do we kick the football? And Tom Nickel is talking to Hayden Fry just about that.
The big thing you want to make sure you do when you do squib kick it, that you put it down far enough, because Ohio State will have time probably for one play.
And they have Spangler in the wind to their backs. Well, it's been quite a first half, 51 points. And I don't think it's going to diminish much. The heat might take its toll in the second half, I don't know, but we expected a display like this from two teams that can really go with the football and score. And we got exactly what we thought. A couple of sluggers slugging it out. You saw a moment ago the total offense on the board that is right up to date. 313 yards for Iowa, 215 for Ohio State.
45 yards, 1 minute, 15 seconds.
So here's Tom Nickel. Byers and Woldridge are back. And again, they try to squib it. Barry Walker dives on it at the 22-yard line. And it'll be time for one play.
Walker downs to kicking.
Absolutely no time elapsed on the clock, because an offensive man must touch the ball, and he was down, and as soon as he was down, the whistle blew, so Ohio State still has 8 seconds.
Tom Zach trots onto the field, says something to Judd Groza, number 85. There's a famous name in football, Groza, number 85 in your picture.
Lou Groza, one of the all-time great place kickers ever, and his father of Judd Groza comes from good stock.
And they just wedge it into the line to eat up the final seconds. I think you're going to hear quite an ovation for both of these teams as they leave the field at halftime. It's been a brilliant display of Big Ten football. So that's the end of the first half, and the score is Ohio State 31, Iowa 20. We'll return with our halftime activities on this Sports View Big Ten Football Network following this pause for station identification.
Have a news tip? Call the Eyewitness Hotline.
It's Honda Truckload Caravan Days. Truckloads of new Hondas are rolling into your Columbus Honda dealer. A super selection of Ohio-made Hondas, featuring the car you'll want to see, the Accord hatchback. Don't miss the exciting Civics and more. It's a truckload of Ohio Honda value. Honda has confidence in Ohio, and now you can buy with confidence at your Columbus Honda dealer. Hurry, don't let the Truckload Caravan pass you by.
Your value dealers.
As your career takes off, regular financial services might not offer enough to help you really manage your finances. Bank One has designed the Select series especially for you. Financial services for money management, investment, financial planning, even credit. Personal financial services that'll save you time and make your money work harder for you. the Select Series, only from Bank One.
Sandcastle Marine, your Mariner outboard and Mercruiser dealer, lets you make your own waves right now. Smash the price reef by channeling 84 discounts on all 85 boats. Save now on the 85 Chris Craft 168 Bowrider, 140-horse Mercruiser, just $94.95. And save now on the 85 fall line of Wellcraft Scarab 1, now in stock and ready for delivery. Exit 132 off I-70 East and go 1 mile south. Sandcastle Marine, your Mariner outboard and Mercruiser dealer, open 7 days a week, 9 to 9.
When you drive to Wendy's and order a single, you get more beef than the Whopper or the Big Mac. At Wendy's, you never have to ask, where's the beef?
The famous Ohio State Marching Band is on the field here in Ohio Stadium at halftime on a very summery fall afternoon on this first day of fall, but I guess it really doesn't arrive until 4:33 Eastern Time today, so officially we are still in summer, and I think we all feel it. Well, it's a 31-20 ball game, and that is a game that we kind of thought we would see. I didn't think it would be quite this far apart. Rick, did you?
No, I didn't really, but people ask me, why aren't you coaching anymore? And I'd give the answer of most ex-head coaches: turnovers. They kill you.
Let's take a look at the scoring summary in this first half. Ohio State scored with 6:10 to go in the first quarter as Spangler kicked a 23-yard field goal. Then Iowa came right back to tie it up on Nichols' field goal of 30 yards. Then Ohio State in the first quarter with Byers on a 50-yard explosive run made the score 10-3 at the end of the first quarter. Then Iowa tied it up, going 24 yards in 3 plays, as Love Jordan got loose in the end zone. Long spotted him, and we had a 10-10 ball game. Then Ohio State came back, moved 66 yards in 10 plays, and Byers was on the receiving end of the touchdown pass from Tom Zeck of 14 yards. It was 17-10 Ohio. Ohio State then intercepted a pass on a deflection as Kolick got the ball, ran 25 yards. It was 24 in favor of Ohio State to 10 for Iowa. Byers then passed his left-handed pass to Lanise, who surprised everybody here, and that made the score 31-10. However, the Hawkeyes came back and went 85 yards in 6 plays, and Long found Flag in the end zone for the score. And then, as you saw, with 8 seconds to go, Nickel came into the lineup, and he booted that field goal of 41 yards, and we have a 31-20 game. Let's speculate a little bit here with Rick Forzano about what Iowa might do, since they did win the toss and deferred their decision to the start of the second half. They will have their option. I'm sure they'll take the ball.
Oh, I'm sure they will, because Hayden Fry is an offensive-minded football coach. I feel Iowa, all they've got to do is cut down, no turnovers, and they will move the ball on Ohio State.
Well, that's it for us. Let's go down and join Jim Bonds on the field.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Rick. Hello again, everyone. A great halftime show activity planned for you today. We've got the Ohio State Band behind us. Also, we will be visiting with Big Ten Commissioner Wayne Duke. And also, our Big Ten flashback today will focus on Vic Janowitz, one of the Heisman Trophy winners here at Ohio State. Right now, the OSU Band. leading Iowa at intermission today. We're very proud to have with us the commissioner of the Big Ten Conference, Wayne Duke. And Wayne, I'll tell you what, who would have thought this type of score at intermission?
I can't believe it, Jim. Can you imagine that? 51 points in the first half of a great football game matching two great defensive teams.
Of course, today kicks off the conference race inside the Big Ten. And I'll tell you what, if today's first half is any indication, the whole conference race is going to be something special before the end.
I think so, Jim. I've always said the coaches are the best barometers of what transpires in Big Ten football, and they said it'd be very competitive, and competitive it's going to be.
Wayne, this year, let's be honest, a lot of people have talked about a saturation point for college football. They say, well, college football this year will reach its peak and will have peaked out. But if you look at the Big Ten, that is not the evidence so far.
Certainly not. Jim, I've always said Big Ten football is America's most popular spectator sport. It's evident by the crowd here today, 89,000 people, the second largest crowd in Ohio history, and I think that's the way it's going to be all through the 1984 season.
Wayne, as Big Ten Conference Commissioner, do you get around to see a lot of the games, or are you pretty much behind the desk?
No, we get out on Saturday afternoons. This is what makes the job very worthwhile, Jim.
This is the fun part, huh?
That's right. This is the fun part. Whenever you go out to a Big Ten stadium on a Saturday afternoon, and have those tingles up and down your spine, that's what makes the job very good.
Wayne, in just a few minutes, we'll be talking with Vic Janowicz, one of 4 Heisman Trophy winners from Ohio State. Now, I guess that's one of the things when you talk about this conference in Iowa, Ohio State, all the other great schools, that makes this conference special is the tradition, because it goes way back.
That's right, Jim. You will have 4 Ohio State Heisman Trophy winners here in the stands today. Archie Griffin, a 2-time winner, Vic Janowicz, Dr. Les Horvath, and Howard Hopalong Cassidy. Very few institutions or a conference can boast that many of the Heisman rank.
Wayne, thanks so much for coming by and visiting with us. Good luck to you and the conference in 1984.
Well, we're very pleased to have Sportsview as part of our team to bring Big Ten football to our millions of Big Ten fans.
Very good. Thank you. Commissioner Wayne Duke of the Big Ten Conference will continue from Ohio Stadium in just a moment. It is halftime with the score, Ohio State 31, Iowa 20. We'll take a break and return after this message from your local stations.
Welcome to Rack. Relax and just say Philly beef and cheese, please.
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 Wow. Roast beef, Swiss cheese, sauteed mushrooms, green peppers, and onions on our new natural grain roll with a make-your-own side salad, only $2.99. Just say
Philly beef and cheese, please. Philly beef and cheese, please. Philly beef and cheese.
Now at a great price at Rack.
Andrea McArdle sings on the next Merv Griffin Show. You'll meet the personal secretaries of Joan Collins and Liz Taylor.
I see her fly off the handle about something, but never at me.
She spent 25 years of her life with him, and it was all very sad.
Dynasty's Billy D. Williams.
Merv, Saturday night at 7 here on 10 TV.
To 20, the halftime score at Ohio State this week. Ohio State's Buckeyes leading the Iowa Hawkeyes in the first Saturday of Big Ten Conference competition in 1984. It's been a great first half. We expect more in the second half. As we started last week, a segment we call Big Ten Flashback. And today, we're going to look at one of the great running backs, a former Heisman Trophy here at Heisman Trophy winner at Ohio State, Vic Janowicz. Let's take a look at some of the actions. We take you back a few years and back about 34 years. And as you look at Vic Janowicz in action. And here's a guy who came out of Ohio State in 1950, won the Heisman Trophy. But the thing you have to remember about Vic, and the thing that Ohio State Buckeye fans remember, is his versatility. Not only was he outstanding on the football field, but also as a great baseball player. And he participated in both sports professionally. There you look at number 31, Vic Janowicz. As he was then, and now as he is now. Vic Janowicz, glad to have you with us.
Well, thank you, Jim.
How do you guess when you look back at video like that film, it does take you back a few years, doesn't it?
Well, we don't use numbers, really. And I'll tell you, this afternoon here, the way the Buckeyes are playing in the Hawkeyes from Iowa, they're kind of reminiscing from the 1950 game. We got two super teams out here, and they're putting on a great exhibition of both football by passing and running, and a great defense by the two ball clubs. And I think these 90,000 fans here are really enjoying this football game in this beautiful Ohio weather.
Vic, what's the outstanding difference, in your opinion, between football 1950 when you won the Heisman Trophy and today's athletes out here? What's the difference? More complex offensive, defensive schemes, or what?
Well, I think they have more people to work with. Now we're a ball club and carry 60 ball players. We carried about 40. So when you deal with numbers, you can pick out the best. And here on the gridiron this afternoon, Iowa brought a fantastic group here, and Ohio State has a great ball club. So as you can recall, 34 years ago, we beat this ball club 83-21. And as you look at that scoreboard now, it's that type of game. You know, Iowa wasn't any slouch 34 years ago.
Oh, no.
It's just like this ball club. The score should be 0-0 right now, and the second half should be the tell point.
Dick, we mentioned briefly your versatility. Recap for the fans. Coming out of college, you signed with the Pittsburgh Pirates, one of the early bonus babies, right?
Right. I started off with the Pittsburgh Pirates, and then after that season, I went to Mexico and played winter baseball with Hermosillo, and then I joined the ball club the spring of 1954 and completed the year with the Pirates then. And then George Preston Marshall was a general manager, owner of the Washington Redskins, so he convinced me to go back into football. So I drove in my car, drove to Washington, D.C. The next week, I had a football uniform on, and I was a Redskin from then on out.
Quick transition for you.
Right, and I enjoyed it. I played all the sports throughout my career, and I enjoy watching them now. So I enjoy baseball, I enjoy football, in all aspects of the sporting world.
Vic, thanks so much for coming by and visiting with us today.
Thank you very much, Jim. It's been my pleasure.
Former Heisman Trophy winner, the Heisman Trophy winner from 1950, former Ohio State running back Vic Janowitz, one of 4 Heisman Trophy winners and the recipient of one of 5 Heisman trophies at Ohio State, Vic Janowitz. We're at halftime. The score 31-20. Right now, a look at the two universities represented on today's football field.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce to you this afternoon Dr. Bob Boyd, president of Varsity O Club, who is going to present to you the 1984 inductees into the Ohio State Sports Hall of Fame. Our first inductee in the class of 1984 is its captain, 1970. Don't tell me the damn mic screwed up. Our first inductee into the class of 1984 is the captain of the 1971 Big Ten championship team, the most valuable player in the Big Ten, an NBA star.
This is the University of Iowa, a pace setter for the 1980s, where teaching and research are improving our health, strengthening our economy, preparing tomorrow's leaders. A distinguished faculty committed to teaching, research, and service. This is the University of Iowa, since 1847, proud of its leadership and innovation in public higher education.
And Stroh's Light, fire brewed for a smoother taste. Family brewed quality for over 200 years.
All Big Ten infielder in baseball.
former head coach at Ohio State University in baseball and basketball, winning Big Ten titles in both. He's a former athletic director at Wichita State, Nebraska, and Northwestern. Tippy Nye.
Where are you going?
To get a Stroh's.
That's about a 200-mile hike through heavy snow.
I know.
If you think of it, get two.
Stroh's and Stroh Light, fire brewed for smoother taste.
Whether you root for the Ohio State Buckeyes or the Iowa Hawkeyes or any of the Big Ten Conference schools, this is an item you need to be aware of. If you're a Big Ten Conference football fan, you'll love the Big Ten Yearbook. All the information about all the teams in the Big Ten Conference, the statistics from last year, the team records and conference records. It's something for the real football fan. You can have yours for only $5. Write to Big Ten Yearbook, 1111 Plaza Drive, Schaumburg, Illinois, 60195. The Big Ten Yearbook, only $5 to 1111 Plaza Drive, Schaumburg, Illinois, 60195. Bill Fleming?
Yes, sir. I'd like to also remind our fans that tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, on most of these Sports View stations, they will see the second end of this extended doubleheader. Michigan State traveling to Champaign to meet the defending champion.
Bartender's next big league pitcher and loves to serve fire brewed Stroh's. See what I mean? That was his fastball. That was the curve. Look out. Wild pitch.
What was that?
Relief pitcher.
Stroh's and Stroh Light, fire brewed for smoother taste.
Sounds like there's a bear in the beer.
What are we going to do?
I'll be right back.
Where's he going?
He's going to get that beer from that bear.
That's not just a bear. That's a grizzly.
Yeah, but that's not just a beer. That's fire brewed Stroh's. I thought we had 3 cases. Well, had to make a deal.
Stroh's and Stroh Light, fire brewed for smoother taste.
Kicking off for Ohio State, number 10, Rich Spangler. Lead for Iowa, number 2, Robert Smith, and number 31, Ronnie Harmon.
Here's Spangler's kick. Ronnie Harmon and Smith are back. That's Smith waiting for it in the end zone. He will not run it out. And the Hawkeyes will take over the football. Now let's take a look at the Ohio State defensive team. Dennis Houston as a linebacker. He plays as a defensive end. Then Preselius at 252 pounds. Tony Giuliani had a great first half at middle guard. Dave Morrill, the defensive tackle out of Centerville, Ohio. And Byron Lee is also a defensive end, if you want to call him a linebacker, but he's really the defensive end on the 5. Spielman was hurt in the first half with a bad ankle, did not start or would not start in the second half. William White, Greg Rogan, Terry White back in that secondary. Sonny Gordon, number 7, very active in the first half. And Terry White probably had a little lecture at halftime. Here's Long on first play, down the middle. It's almost picked off. Scott Halverson was the intended receiver, and Pepper Johnson almost got that one. On the offensive side of the ball, to begin the second half, we have Chuck Long, the quarterback, Gill, and J.C. Love Jordan, along with Ronnie Harmon.
You're always looking for linebackers that can get depth on passes. Pepper Johnson got back there and almost stepped in front of it and had an interception for Ohio State.
On the delay, little draw play, and Ronnie Harmon gets the most out of it. Pepper Johnson's there to meet him.
Ronnie Harmon, the ball carrier.
Sonny Gordon and number 97, Dave Preselius.
Tackled by Larry Coley.
I don't know whether the heat is going to take us toll in the second half, but the Iowa defense certainly had a long time to play in the first half. Long, Gill, Bush, Halverson. Well, Bush didn't make the trip today. As we mentioned at the beginning of the game, he is back in Iowa City with a bad foot. So that's why they're going with those 2 backs, Harmon and Gill, in the same backfield. Third down. Oh, a lot of pressure. He had to go all the way back to the 3-yard line. Owen Gill was the intended receiver, and Sonny Gordon had a beat on him.
Dangerous, dangerous play, but Iowa had a screen pass on into the right flat. Long looks over there. Ohio State has great coverage on it, and, oh, that was fortunate to throw a pass like that so deep. It's 4th down, Iowa.
Deep for the Buckeyes, Mike Lanise.
Mike Lanise is deep out of the punt by Costrubala. And he takes it at the 34. Good kick into the wind. So with 13:59 to go in the third quarter, we still have a 31-20 count. We'll keep you up to date on those other scores in the fourth quarter in Ann Arbor. Michigan now leading Wisconsin 17-14 in a thriller. Northwestern over Indiana 9-7 in the second quarter.
Game back.
Purdue leading Minnesota 3-0 in the second quarter. And of course, Michigan State at Illinois tonight, which you will see beginning at 8 Eastern time. Tomczak stumbled for a moment there, but recovered enough to throw to Byers at the 40-yard line. Spitzig right on his back. Gain of about 6.
You want to stretch the defense short and long.
Here's Mike Hook, Paul Hufford on the defense, Hap Peterson, the nose guard. Well, these guys have been out on the field quite a while today. Defensive tackle is George Little, and Dave Strobel, the defensive end. Kevin Spitzig, total of 26 tackles to his credit. Larry Station with 25 coming into today's game. Larry Station, an academic All-American. Second down, 4. Again on the delay. Ball was bobbled just for a second by John Wooldridge, stopping his progress short of the first down, and Strobel, number 97, made the stop. The rest of the defensive secondary, we've got Mike Stoops as a defensive back, Devon Mitchell playing in his junior year, Keith Hunter, and Nate Creer. So it brings up third down and 3, and a big stop here coming up if Iowa can do it. Ohio State with Tom, Zach, Byers, Bates, Lanise, Taggart, and Holland, Laudermilk, Lachey, Zelensky, Graves, and Karowitz up front, a veteran offensive line. Byers tries to go outside. They miss him. Good lateral coverage. Well, I'll tell you, Spitzig was the man that made that thing happen. He enabled Hunter to come up and make the stop out of bounds, but Spitzig made him bow deep.
You called it, number 38, Spitzig from the inside linebacker, but also an excellent play by number 41, Mike Stoops right there, who forces him outside. Spitzig's going to get him from the inside. The cornerback, Keith Hunter, comes up, makes a tackle. That's a big third down play by Iowa.
Fourth down now, and it's on the 41-yard line. We're in the third quarter. After a rather heavy first half of offensive display, 51 points, 31 for Ohio, 20 for Iowa. Robert Smith goes back as a single safety. Tupa is in. The last kick he had was 64 yards. He has 3 today for 163 or a 54.3 average. Well, he's going to get another big one here because he's got a nice wind behind him. Coming in from the open end, a very warm breeze. Oh, what a kick. This one turns over and will go into the end zone. Too good. So the Hawkeyes will come out, and they'll have it 1st and 10 on the 20 after a 59-yard boot. 31-20. We'll be right back after this message.
It's Saturday, October 13th. Something's about to happen that's never happened before. In over 120 cities, people are joining together to be part of the Stroh's Run for Liberty, a 5-mile run where your entry fee helps restore the statue. Sponsored by Stroh's and supported by Brooks Shoes. This is not just for runners, it's for everyone. But most of all, it's for her. So call to enter or sign up wherever you buy Brooks Shoes or Stroh's beer.
Converse All-Stars. They started out on the basketball court, but now
they're everywhere. They're everywhere. They're everywhere.
Converse All-Stars. Look for them everywhere. Official athletic shoe of the 1984 Olympic Games.
Chuck Long spent that time out talking with Hayden Fry, using up every last second to do so. Trying to plan the strategy here with his team 11 points behind beginning of the third quarter. The defense held the Buckeyes, forcing the punt. Ronnie Harmon. Stopped on the 23. Let's go down to Jim Bonds.
Bob Murphy, the team physician, Dr. Bob Murphy for Ohio State. Bob, you've been with Ohio State 33 years. I guess the heat, we talked about the heat in the first part of the game, but because of the low humidity and because of the wind, the heat really has not been a negative factor for these players, has it?
It's not been a big factor. As long as humidity is under about 60%, we usually don't have any trouble. Today was about 85 and about 50% humidity, so we're really not in any trouble.
Very good. Dr. Bob Murphy, the team physician for Ohio State.
Thank you very much.
Eye with a 2nd and 7. Big heat put on Long, and he's pulled down at the 8-yard line. Byron Lee, number 82.
Good call. You have them down in the sack in your Ohio State, and you want to put the pressure on them, and you put a little stunt with Crecelius. But Byron Lee comes in from the left side, pressure from the inside, outside, sack for Ohio State.
Big loss, 3rd and 21. Iowa trailing here in the third quarter by 11. On the draw, Ronnie Harmon is snagged, still manages to get up to about the 9-yard line. Morrill and Kummerow getting through to make the penetration. And it forces the 4th down punting situation.
Well, you'd have to say that series belonged to Ohio State. Their defense was attacking on all 3 downs.
Here is Costrubala. 89,733, the second largest crowd in the history of this great old horseshoe. High kick, bobbled, and it's a loose ball covered by Iowa. Mike Lanise could not find a firm grasp on the ball, and he loses it at the 48-yard line. What a break for the Hawkeyes.
The fumble was recovered.
But, Bill, that punt came down. It had dew on it because Costrubala had really put the ball up high. And look at the height on that ball. I mean, that ball is up there, and Mike Lanise is trying to field it, fumbles the ball. Big turnover of events for Iowa. Good coverage, good recovery of the fumble.
Number 72, who is a specialty player, Joe Schuster, got the football at the 48-yard line of Ohio State. The Hawkeyes trailing here in the 3rd quarter, 31-20. Long looks downfield, pumps short, throws short, sideline. He's got Hayes. Oh, and he dropped the ball, incomplete. Well, he turned his head away. I think if you looked at it again, it's like taking your eye off the ball in golf. You're going to whip.
That's right. I give credit to that to Sonny Gordon, the strong safety at Ohio State. I mean, he's coming up. He had made one strong hit on Hayes already today, and I think Hayes just kind of glanced at Gordon and said, hey, I dropped the ball.
2nd and 10. We're in the 3rd quarter. 31-20 is the score. Ohio State. Long on the run, has his men, but it is out of bounds at the 40. They're going to call it complete to Happel. Gain of about 6.5 or 7 yards.
Ohio State wants to bring their linebacker upfield and force Long to throw sooner than he wants to, but he has 2 blockers out in front of him. He finds Happel at the sideline. The defensive coach of Ohio State said, we've got to stop the outcut. That time they didn't.
And as you could see from that end zone replay, his foot was indeed in bounds. J.C. Love Jordan has gone in now, wide to the left. He scored a touchdown today in the right-hand corner of the south end zone. Moving quickly through the line is Ronnie Harmon, getting the first down at about the 36-yard line. Kolick making the stop along with Morrill.
3rd down. Watch the surge of the offensive line of Iowa. They're all getting movement on the defense of Ohio State. That's what you want on 3rd down. And when you've got a great back like Harmon, he can find the seam. 1st down, Iowa. But good blocking by the offensive line of Iowa.
I think it should be mentioned that Gill and Harmon have been trading off in that backfield during the early part of the season. But because of the injury to Fred Bush at fullback, both have had to be in the lineup all the time today. Whew. I guess I'd change my direction if I saw Darrell Lee at 265 pounds ahead of me.
Darrell Lee, number 95, the nose guard, playing right over the center, made a step-around move to his left, and the center blocked space, and Darrell Lee was right in the face of the ball carrier of Iowa.
2-yard loss on the play, and it makes it 2nd and 12. Crossbuck. Gill weaves his way through. Beautiful running by Owen Gill. He looked like a reed in the wind as he weaved his way down to the 24-yard line.
I said earlier, we are seeing some great runners. This time it's a little counter action by Iowa. Excellent, because the Ohio State linebackers took that one fatal step to the left, but Owen Gill made a lot of that on his own, those little juke steps.
The Hawkeyes now with the ball just outside the 23-yard line. Ronnie Harmon changes direction, gets his nose on the 21 before Byron Lee buttons him down. Chasing into the lineup now will be Dennis Houston. as the defensive right end. Coming out is Eric Kummerow. He's Kummerow, number 14 there. You just saw him pass by your picture. Has been nursing a nagging injury, and this is really the first time he's had a chance for action. So Coach Bruce is getting him in and out little by little. 8 minutes and 14 seconds to go in the third quarter. It's a 31-20 game. Ohio State. Second and 8. Long throws over the middle. Complete to J.C. Love Jordan at the 16-yard line. Short of a first down by about 2 yards as William White, one of 3 freshmen starting in the defensive backfield today, brings him down. He leads the team in total tackles, as a matter of fact, with 19.
And I believe he leads the team in total tackles because they throw a lot of out patterns. Every team that's played Ohio State, they're trying to pick on the corners, but this time White makes the tackle. But it is about a 4 to 5 yard gain. It's now third down and 1.5 yards.
Tim Sennett has gone in at fullback, number 17. The lead man in the eye. Lays the block for Harmon. Harmon breaks loose. And he skids to the ground at the 8-yard line. Sonny Gordon making the stop. Boy, I'll tell you, Byers may have been the man of the first half, but you cannot overlook the contribution that Ronnie Harmon has made to this Iowa team.
But Ronnie Harmon is also getting excellent blocking at the line of scrimmage, but it's all him after he got to the linebackers, and he did it on his own. Harmon has 17 carries for 77 yards.
First and goal to go for the Hawkeyes. They're trailing 31-20 in the third quarter. Now Gill has gone back in. He's the lead man. He slipped the ball to Harmon. He hits a stone wall at the 7-yard line. Byron Lee, number 82, and you'll see number 58, Dennis Houston, down at the bottom of that pile.
On defense, you tell your defensive people, keep your feet clean. In other words, don't get knocked down. There is not one Ohio State player knocked down until right there at the ball. They did a good job of getting off their blocks, the Ohio State defense.
Second down. The ball is on the 7. It's second and goal to go. An intimate look at Chuck Long, the quarterback. It's often been said that he's worth another coach on the field. He really knows how to read the defenses. Slips the ball to Ronnie Harmon. He slides to about the 3.5 or 4 yard line before number 57, Dave Morrow, brings him down.
In this half, it looks like the Iowa offensive line just is getting more and more confidence that they can block the Ohio State defense. It'll be interesting to watch how they come down into this scoring zone now with a big third down play.
Timing is good, too. They're just delaying that handoff just enough for those blocks to be laid. Third down. The ball is on the 4 yard line. It's goal to go for the Hawkeyes. We're in the third quarter with 5:51 to play, and the Hawks are trailing. Power eye in the backfield as Sennett has gone in. Long shuttles across. He is snagged. Who was the man who seeped through there? I think it was 58, Dennis Houston.
To the left of your screen, you're absolutely correct. Dennis Houston on the down-the-line option. He was playing both the pitch and the quarterback, came back and made an excellent play on Long. Fourth down, the moment of truth again.
Well, I would like to conjecture that they'll go with Ronnie Harmon. Listen to the roar from the end zone. And is facing Chuck Long. Eddie Polite. Long blasts it in for the touchdown. A great call by Chuck Long. And he has given the Hawkeyes their 26th point, and it is silence on the other side of the field, except in the Iowa cheering section. Boy, what a nice hole between guard and center.
Excellent call again. The play before, you'll remember he got stopped on the option, but they had one man covering the pitch man and the quarterback. Iowa saw that upstairs. They said, hey, we'll come back with it. Look at the surge. See, Dennis Houston had to take the quarterback and the pitch. He couldn't handle it. Touchdown, Iowa, and we've got a football game.
4 minutes and 56 seconds to go in this third quarter. Iowa is talking it over with Hayden Fry and Chuck Long. Timeout on the field. The score 31-27. We'll be right back after this message from your local station.
It's Honda Truckload Caravan Days. Truckloads of new Hondas are rolling into your Columbus Honda dealer. A super selection of Ohio-made Hondas, featuring the car you'll want to see, the Accord hatchback. Don't miss the exciting Civics and more. It's a truckload of Ohio Honda value. Honda has confidence in Ohio, and now you can buy with confidence at your Columbus Honda dealer. Hurry, don't let the truckload caravan pass you by.
Your value dealers.
You work hard for your food dollars, and nobody works harder to save them than Kroger with cost-cutter prices.
Save over $20 during coupon days at Kroger. With coupon and $7.50 purchase, save on items like the 5-pound bag of Kroger granulated sugar, just $1.29. Betty Crocker cake mix, 18.5-ounce box, 59 cents. And the 12-ounce can of Minute Maid frozen orange juice, 88 cents, and many more.
Cut your costs every day with cost-cutter prices, only when you go Krogering.
Well, there's a possibility here that Iowa might go for 2 points. You take a look at the scoreboard, you got a 31-26 count. It would make it 31-28. I'm not so sure 1 point really does much for them.
Oh, I think it's the right move to go for 2 points because you pull within the full field goal range. Right. This way, if you make the field goal or the extra point and kick it, it's 31-27. You still have to score a touchdown. Good move by Hayden Fry and his staff.
All right, he puts Sennett in there. He's got 2 fullbacks, actually, Owen Gill and Sennett, and he's got Ronnie Harmon behind him. Sennett in motion. Pitch to Harmon. Going to throw. Lob pass. It is incomplete. The intended receiver fell down. Sennett was wide open, but he tripped and fell, and it falls short.
I believe, though, that Ronnie Harmon throws a little bit of a mortar shell here, and he allows the Ohio State people who were really fooled. It's really up there high, and Sonny Gordon and all the Ohio State people can react to the football there, and I just think he should have thrown it sooner.
Yeah, but he stumbled. I mean, Sennett fell down. I think he could have gotten the ball. Anyway, he got his legs tangled up. Score remains the same, 31-26. 5 minutes and 18 seconds is all it took for the Hawks to come down. And again, the turnover was the important factor because Lanise muffed that punt, as you will recall. It was covered by the Hawkeyes, by Schuster, at the 48-yard line. And Long just very methodically brought them down the field. A nice bit of quarterbacking, mixing the plays up, and taking it in himself for the touchdown. Let's pause 5 seconds for station identification.
This is WBNS 10 TV, Columbus, Ohio.
Well, this has been a bitter struggle here in Columbus and in Ann Arbor today. Must have been a whale of a football game. Michigan defeated Wisconsin 17-14. Goes to Byers, has a little bit of trouble handling it, up to the 10. Ooh, look out if he gets loose. They take him to the sidelines. And Sims puts him out of bounds. Now, the fans over there thought it was a little extra, but the flag was thrown immediately. And that may cost the Hawkeyes.
That is a change in field position in a hurry. A long return like that, add 15 more yards to it, and Ohio State is in Iowa territory.
Well, instead of having it at the 37, they move it upfield from the spot, and it'll be in Iowa territory, very close to the 48-yard line. So the late hit is costly. That's better.
You can count, he can't, huh?
Personal foul, White.
Keith Byers, Mr. Do-It-All, watch him, sucks them all to the inside, and now just has that great ability to shed blockers, turns it up. Big return, Keith Byers.
Tom Zach rifles one out to Taggart, too far.
Tom Zach's pass intended for Ed Taggart, incomplete.
Well, so far, the second half belongs to Iowa.
On the play, Dave Sproul.
31-26. It was 31-20 at halftime after a 51-point burst by these two teams in the first half.
And we haven't heard much from Keith Byers in that second quarter, the end of that second quarter. He's about ready to come to life, I think.
Ohio State hasn't had the ball that much, having given it up on the turnover. Now Byers on the delay, grinds it forward to about the 45-yard line. Next week, Iowa will return home to Iowa City to take on the defending champions from Illinois, and Ohio State will travel to Minnesota for a game on Saturday night. Good look at Keith Byers, who did everything in the first half. Ran for a touchdown, caught a pass for a touchdown, threw a pass for a touchdown. In total yardage, it's kind of interesting. Iowa has 351 yards today, 125 by passing, 226 by passing, 125 by rushing. And Ohio State, 227. Tomczak turns and throws to the sideline. It is going to be an interference call. Carter caught the ball. Keith Hunter was on his back. Let's see. You take it back 15 yards from the line of scrimmage, whether it would give them more than the completion. I believe it would.
At the top of your screen, Ohio State really stretches the defense of Iowa. They had Byers short. They had Chris Carter at the sideline. Tomczak throws it back. A strong arm throw into the sideline. Big play, Ohio State.
Well, they're trying to figure out, with the new pass interference rule here, 15 yards from the line of scrimmage instead of from the spot of the foul, means that you take it 15 yards from the 44. I believe it would give them a couple of extra yards. Yeah, just about on the 30 instead of the 32. First down.
Iowa penalty, defensive pass interference.
Bill, that was a very well-thrown football. He didn't have much room to put that ball in there, and he drilled it Tomczak right to Carter.
Pass interference on the defense, declined. First down, they declined it.
Well, that baffles me. He was out of bounds on the 32, and they give him the ball on the 30. I think the Downs people are confused, too. I have a delay here as they have to change the box.
I think he'll change his mind here, maybe. No?
Well, it's a first down on the 30. Woldridge, the second man through, gets 5. 5 quickly. Larry Station, number 36, makes the stop on him. I'd like to say a word about number 36 of Iowa. He's a man who made the academic All-America team a year ago, and is only a junior. He is about a 375 student in computer science, and really one of the brilliant football players playing college football today. Boy, you got to be smart to play the linebacking position with these complex offenses, don't you, Rick?
Oh, you sure do.
Byers outside, Strobel chasing him, Stoops, hooks, everybody trying to get in on him, and he just somersaults out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
Tackled by Nate Freer.
A normal back would have had a loss on this play, but because of this big man's speed, Keith Byers, the containment is there, but he just flat out runs it and gets it to the line of scrimmage. Amazing what the young man can do.
Third down, 3. We're in the third quarter with 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Ohio State is leading Iowa 31-26. Lanise goes in motion. The Bucks have the ball on the 24-yard line of the Hawkeyes. Tomczak throws it. Completed to Carter. He is down for a first down at the 14-yard line.
I keep using the word stretch. This time off of play action. They stretch the secondary of Iowa. They stretch him to the outside with a motion of Lanise. They hit Carter right in the seam. Again, well-conceived first down, Ohio State.
First and 10 on the 14-yard line. Mike Tomczak has played all the way today at quarterback, making his first start since the Fiesta Bowl. Byers grinds it and bangs heads at the 7-yard line with Devon Mitchell. Oh, he can get 7 yards so fast.
At ground level, the only way you can stop Keith Byers is with penetration. You see the offensive line of Ohio State just made a surge. There was no penetration by Iowa. Keith Byers picks it up.
100 yards for this young man wearing jersey number 41. That's just in rushing. Second down, 3. Woolridge. He's hit hard by Larry Station. Somehow you can just have a trademark on Station. You see a guy get straightened up and you say, oh, that's Station, all right.
Station has that great leverage. He is always in that 6-inch punch position. All he does is boom, 6-inch punch, and he drives you back.
Like it. Byers reports back in the lineup. In the third quarter, Purdue is leading Minnesota 10-3 at West Lafayette. And in the second quarter now, Indiana's come back to tie Northwestern 17-all. Here's Byers, touchdown. No question about that one. Once he got loose at the line of scrimmage, he just bolted into the end zone for his second running touchdown of the day, his third TD of the afternoon.
9 straight games that Byers has scored 2 touchdowns or more. But the big thing we talked about so many times, his big hands. He held onto the ball. The ball was almost stripped out of his hands, but he refused. You just watch how he gets into the point of attack right there. But watch, see how his arm is being pulled, but he is so strong and has such big hands, he does not fumble. He scores. Ohio State touchdown.
And Spangler's kick is up, and it is good. It is now 38 for Ohio State, and Iowa's 26, and the fans are loving every minute of this offensive display. Timeout on the field, 38-26 the score. We'll be right back after this message.
Pass, a lateral, and a run to daylight. Hi, this is Bob Greasy for the Sporting News, and we have a play that'll win big for you every time. 2 issues for the price of 1 to introduce you to the Sporting News, the Sports Bible.
That's right. You get 23 issues of the Sporting News for just $9.97. 2 for the price of 1. You can't buy the Sporting News at a lower price anywhere.
It's the magazine that gives me the no-nonsense details of all Major League sports and college action. To love sports is to love the Sporting News, the Sports Bible. Why don't you subscribe today? And here's a friend to tell you how.
That's right, Bob. You get the Sporting News at the low rate of 44 cents an issue. 23 issues for $9.97. That's half the regular subscription price.
To subscribe, call toll-free 1-800-228-5511. That's 1-800-228-5511. That's 1-800-228-5511.
Well, the Buckeyes move down the field with Keith Byers taking it in at the 123 mark of the third quarter to go back up by 12 points. They had an 11-point lead at halftime. The missed try for 2 accounts for the difference in the touchdown exchange.
Ball goes into the end zone.
So the ball will come out to the 20-yard line, and the Hawkeyes once again will go to work. Only took 3 minutes and 26 seconds to go those 49 yards. And again, it is Keith Byers who has accounted for 4 touchdowns today. 2 by rushing, 1 by reception, and 1 by throwing.
The Ohio State women's cross-country team won the Redbird.
Also, Tom Zach has gone all the way at quarterback. He had a good Saturday to test that leg a week ago. He had an excellent week of practice. And Coach Bruce decided to start him in place of Kersardis. 1st and 10, Chuck Long. Gives it off to Gill. Has to fight for 4 yards before he's brought down by Thomas Johnson and Sonny Gordon.
Tackled by Sonny Gordon.
That was the same counteraction that Gill just had the long run on the previous drive when Iowa had the ball. That counteraction is doing very well for Iowa. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of it.
Did you think you'd see 64 points before the end of the third quarter in this game?
It's lucky they didn't play during the halftime. We'd have had really something.
Second down. About 6. Oh, big hit. Number 95 coming through there was Darrell Lee, a sophomore out of Columbus.
Ronnie Herman was the ball carrier. Defensive play by
Number Darrell Lee, watch him right over the center. See him take that step around with the arm over the center block space, and Darrell Lee makes a big tackle. That step around is tough.
He's got to be the heir apparent to that position, nose guard, vacated by Tony Giuliani, who's a senior and will graduate. So Lee, just being a sophomore, no doubt we'll see plenty of action. Harmon has 83 yards today on 20 carries, working just a little bit harder than usual simply because of the injury to Fred Bush, putting Gill and Harmon in the backfield at the same time. Well, that's the end of 3 periods, and it is 38-26. Ohio State leading as we get ready for the final 15 minutes of play. 38-26, and we'll be right back after this message.
Where are you going? To get a Stroh's. That's about a 200-mile hike through heavy snow. I know. If you think of it, get 2.
Stroh's and Stroh Light, fire brewed for smoother taste.
Can you believe it? JT with an $18 million contract?
Sure is a long way from the playground.
Think you still drink Stroh's?
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
JT, man.
Richard. Timothy.
This is all right. Glad he didn't forget his friends.
Oh, it's Stroh's.
Where is the Stroh's?
Out by the pool.
The pool?
Stroh's and Stroh Light.
Now that's a cooler.
Fire brewed for smoother taste.
This is Bill Fleming.
When you drive to Wendy's and order a single, you get more beef than the Whopper or the Big Mac. At Wendy's, you never have to ask, where's the beef?
Dave Gill Pontiac, Dennis Pontiac, Haydocy Pontiac, your Columbus Pontiac dealers invite you to visit the home of the Fiero, driving excitement for the 80s. The Fiero, a stylish, sporty, fuel-efficient car. The very first 2-seat mid-engine 4-cylinder production car built in America. Independent suspension, rack and pinion steering, power disc brakes. The Fiero, unique, exciting, engineered by Pontiac. Explore the full line of Pontiacs today at your Columbus Pontiac dealers. East, Dave Gill Pontiac. North, Dennis Pontiac. West, Haydocy Pontiac. We build excitement.
So the offense comes out for Ohio State, the defense for Iowa. With timeout on the field, it's a 38-26 score. We'll be right back after this message from your local station.
Welcome to Rack. Relax and just say Philly beef and cheese, please.
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 Wow. Roast beef, Swiss cheese, sauteed mushrooms, green peppers, and onions on our new natural grain roll with a make-your-own side salad, only $2.99. Just say
Philly beef and cheese, please. Philly beef and cheese, please. Philly beef and cheese.
Now at a great price at Rack.
Recruiting talented people is competitive. A high cost of health care benefits could really cut down on what I have to offer. But now I can maintain high levels of basic and major medical coverage for my employees at a lower cost to me. With comprehensive major medical from Blue Cross and Blue Shield. A solid health care package is essential for attracting good people.
We call it PACE. Packaging affordable coverage for employees. It's another way we plan to save you money.
As we take a look at the time of possession, it's interesting to note that Iowa has had the ball longer than Ohio State. That surprises me. 23 minutes and 44 seconds at the end of the third quarter to 21-16. I would have thought it was the other way.
Well, it really changed in the second half of the second quarter. I believe that did it.
Yeah. Tom Zach unloads it to Byers. Double teaming him, and that's about the only way to stop him. However, he's got the first down as Station and Creer bring him down at the 40-yard line.
Tom Zach just seems to be able to find Byers in an opening. They were in man-for-man coverage. Right there, Larry Station, I believe, had Byers coming out of the backfield and let him go, and Tom Zach found him. First down, Ohio State.
Tom Zach is 10 out of 14 for 115 yards today and 2 touchdowns. Any question about the fact that he was ready? We have 13 minutes, 19 seconds to play. I don't know, a busted play, but something happened there. And
Tom Zach, the ball carrier.
I believe that Tom Zach was audibilizing, and the center didn't get it, and he snapped the ball too soon, and Tom Zach did the smartest thing. He just took a dive right there. See if anybody moves. No, see, the center's the only one that moves, and it's important, as we say in coaching, for the center to know the snap count.
Well, it makes it 2nd and 11. At halftime, and what must be a great ball game at Evanston, Northwestern now is leading 20-17 over Indiana. And Purdue in the third quarter, 17-3 over Minnesota. Good faking by Tom Zach, and he pours it in there to Smith. However, he trapped the ball at the midfield mark as Keith Hunter was covering on the play.
But that play action is giving Tom Zach plenty of time, and that time he should have completed it, but he threw it a little behind Doug Smith. Incomplete pass. But you mentioned Tom Zach. Watch the throw right here. Tom Zach, what a courageous young man. Earle Bruce said it's unbelievable that he's back on that field playing today. Courage.
Bruce said that he looked at Tom Zach's leg injury at the end of spring practice when he was hurt. He broke both bones, the tibia and the fibula. And even in July, it didn't look like Tom Zach would be able to be out here. Just a great recovery. Tom Zach getting a pretty good rush, turns around and throws it. Pressure was on him. Devon Mitchell covering on the play, but the man who really made it happen was Hap Peterson and Ken Sims, 50-9. So it brings up a 4th down, and Iowa will send one man back. Now here's the thing with Tupa banging that ball about 54 yards on the average of the first half. Now has to punt it against the wind. And Robert Smith doesn't go back quite as far.
One thing about Tupa, though, he does not put the ball up that high. I imagine he can kick the ball pretty far into this wind.
Yeah, kicks it rather low, and it'll bounce and go out of bounds. Inside the 20.
Great kick.
Marked at about the 18-yard line. And the Hawkeyes will go to work with 12 minutes, 18 seconds to go. There's a marker down back on the 45-yard line, so they may bring this play back.
Dr. Frank Hauser. Dr. Frank Hauser of Mount Carmel.
Ah, it's defensive holding. Let's see if that would be enough for the first down. Let's just hold on here for a second. We may have that ball come back here as soon as they determine whether it will be enough for the first down. They're explaining it to Pepper Johnson, who is the defensive captain. And, oh, is he proud to be the captain of this team.
Didn't he do an excellent job on his feet yesterday? He and Loudermilk, just super jobs at that mic at the luncheon we were at for the Columbus Agonis Club.
Well, apparently the penalty would not have given Ohio State a first down, and therefore with that excellent punt, putting Iowa back at the 18-yard line, the Buckeyes feel that it was okay. Well, now they're going to get it afterwards. What's this? Might have been another call on top of it.
Hold, post-scrimmage kick enforcement spot against the White. First down.
He explained it. It's after the kick that the hold came about, so it's now against Iowa.
So it is a timeout. And with 12:18 to go in the ball game, we'll take this timeout and back after this message.
Columbus Marriott East, located at the Hamilton Road exit off Interstate 70, 10 minutes from Port Columbus International Airport and downtown Columbus. The Marriott East offers fine dining at Duke's Restaurant, featuring their famous prime rib of beef. After dinner, one of the hottest night spots in town is right here at Tulips, featuring cocktails, entertainment, and dancing. The Marriott East offers convention and recreation facilities in the tradition and style known as Marriott. At Marriott, we do it right.
May I remind you that the Big Ten Yearbook is now available. Cost is $5, and if you'd like yours, it's 1111 Plaza Drive. That's the address to write, Schaumburg, Illinois, 60195.
Final score, Maryland 20, West Virginia 17.
There's a final score coming up that's interesting. Maryland defeated West Virginia today, 20-17.
30, Colorado 0.
Notre Dame is defeating Colorado 30-0 at halftime. Well, here's the stats on Long. 17 out of 26 for 232 yards. 2 touchdown passes, 1 by running. Oh, there's nothing doing there. Gill runs smack into Thomas Johnson and Eric Kummerow, along with Dave Morrill. No gain.
You described it. It was really the whole center of that defensive line of Ohio State. They just converged. It seemed like they were in the huddle and knew it was going to be an inside play.
J.C. Love Jordan is out wide to the right, and Long backs up. He'll pass from his end zone. Ooh, he barely got that one off to Owen Gill. Kummerow made the stop on him.
Complete to number 33.
Both outside linebackers of Ohio State are coming on this. The nose guard, Tony Giuliani, puts pressure right there. Both linebackers, Houston and Lee, come from the outside, and Kummerow, and Lee, pressure. He did get the ball off, but I'll tell you, the Ohio State defense did an excellent job of forcing him to throw badly.
They had a foot in the end zone. 3rd down. 6. Big play for the Hawkeyes. 11 minutes to go in the game. They're trailing by 12. On the draw, Harmon has the first down. And then some. Up to the 32-yard line as William White and Cargile bring him down. Number 5 is Jeff Cargile, sophomore out of Cincinnati, Roger Bacon High School.
Good call. You've just gotten a lot of pressure from the defense. Get them upfield, get the linebackers going back, give the ball to the back on the draw, and let him pick up the first down.
6 winners. First, Benny Luke. Runner-up, Bill Mott. And runner-up, Dave Lawrence.
First down on the 32. Love Jordan and Happel are split on the same side. Rambling through is Owen Gill for 5.
Owen Gill, the ball carrier.
10.5 minutes to go. Ohio State can afford just to let Iowa get that ball down the field and use a lot of time because they've got the 12-point buffer. Gill is limping. Number 33 is limping slowly to the sidelines on the far side. There, you just see him at the top of your picture.
They can ill afford to lose him. They've already lost Bush. He didn't even make the trip.
Sennett has gone in at fullback, and Long can't find anybody. And manages to get out of the grasp of one player and right into the arms of Kummerow.
You pointed out Eric Kummerow had been hurt for this season, and he has done an excellent job. He has made some big hits today. Number 14, the outside linebacker for Ohio State, Eric Kummerow. Nobody for Long to throw the football to. Now watch on the right side. Oh, big hit.
Yeah, right on the throwing shoulder of Long. That does hurt. We have 9 minutes and 37 seconds to go. Ohio State is leading. 38-26. The Buckeyes have never been behind in this game. They've been tied a couple of times. He unloads it to John Hayes, out of bounds at the 48-yard line, and Thomas Johnson's right on his back.
If you were the quarterback, Chuck Long, you try throwing this ball right over Byron Lee. Watch Byron Lee pressure right there. He unloads it to Hayes. Composure, poise, all those things for Chuck Long. Completion, Iowa.
Chuck Long really hurt the Buckeyes last year with a 73-yard touchdown pass that won the game 20-14. He's 18 out of 27 today for 241 yards. Owen Gill dances his way to a first down at the 46-yard line, and Larry Kolick makes the stop on him.
The counter, the counter, the counter. The draw and the counter, the two big running plays for Iowa. See the guards pull opposite, fake the ball to Harmon, give the ball to Gill, turn it upfield. First down, Iowa.
9 minutes. Gill now has 79 yards rushing. Iowa has nearly 400 yards total offense, 399 on the nose. Long looks. He's hit. Number 98 is Thomas Pepper Johnson, who was the most valuable player defensively a week ago against Washington State. Decks Long, and Long gets up slowly.
Watch the blitz. The inside linebackers are coming. It's man for man downfield, but the secondary is all over the receivers. There was not a receiver anywhere near open. Great coverage, great blitz call.
Well, it brings up a 2nd and 10. The ball resting on the 46-yard line of Ohio State. The Buckeyes in this fourth quarter are leading it 38-26. We had 51 points scored in the first half. 31-20 was the score at halftime. On the delay and draw, it's Ronnie Harmon. Skips his way to about the 40-yard line before John Sullivan, number 61, playing in place of Dave Morrill at the right defensive tackle, makes the stop.
The stop was made by number 61, John Sullivan. In 6.
Third down, about, well, I'm going to say 3. It was closer to a 7-yard gain. But the clock is moving, and it is definitely the ally of Ohio State and the enemy of Iowa. At 12 points, looms awfully big. Long looks, throws to the sideline, but it's much too high. That was an intimidation pass. He saw the pressure put on over there on the opposite side of the field, and he knew that he had to get the ball high. Byron Lee was right over there. Crecelius and Kolick covering, and now Hayden Fry sends the play in with a 4th down. In fact, he sends his punter in. This is interesting. He puts pooch kicker in, Tom Nickel. First time he's been in there to kick. Castrobala normally does. But Nickel has a knack of being able to kick high, and boy, he almost did it. Almost was able to get that ball so it was down inside the 5. But it goes into the end zone, and Ohio State will have it on the 20. So there's timeout on the field. 38-26 is the score, and we'll be right back after this message from your local station.
Does your financial paperwork look like this every month? Broker statements, checks you wrote, cash that should have been invested. You need Bank One Select Account. The Select Account brings your checking, investment, and credit picture together into a single balanced account. Keeps track of it all in one monthly report. Nice. The Select Account, the checking account that's also a broker, an accountant, and a source of credit. Ask about it at Bank One.
In the rarefied world of $40,000 luxury sedans, the BMW 733i is rare indeed. For it not only offers a host of luxury appointments, but something uncommon in this class, high performance.
Morning, Wilson. Morning.
Perhaps that's why chauffeur-driven BMWs are seldom driven by their chauffeurs.
Buckled up, Wilson?
Buckled up, sir.
Contact your Columbus area BMW dealer for a thorough test drive.
7 minutes and 53 seconds to go in the game. Buckeyes have the ball on their own 20-yard line, protecting a 12-point lead in the fourth quarter. Two tight ends, Taggart and Groza. And Byers is given the ball as it just grinds it forward for 3 or 4 yards. Jeff Drost making the stop. The strategy here, of course, Rick Forzano, is going to be for Ohio State to use as much of the clock as possible with a 12-point lead.
And if you're Ohio State and you're a running football team, you want to be in this position. You really do. 7 minutes and 32 seconds left. You're a running football team. You're a possession football team. You want to be here and eat the clock up. But Iowa has an experienced defense, and they must make a big play.
Tomczak over the middle's got Byers. Oh, the people just bounce off it. First down as Spitzig finally gets him down at the 32-yard line.
But it's a good play. They fake the ball to Byers, and you say, well, now he doesn't have the ball. Let's go on pass coverage. And then they throw the ball to him, and he gets a first down. Well-conceived offense by Ohio State, but there's a flag on the play. I believe it's a holding call.
Very few penalties today. Turnovers are 3-2. Iowa having 3. Ohio State 2.
Score, Georgia 26, Clemson 23.
Well, there's a game that I really thought might happen. Georgia upset Clemson today, 26-23. I'll tell you, Vince Dooley has got to be one of the greatest coaches of all time.
You made the statement. You said Georgia could beat Clemson and would beat
We
Clemson.
have a hold on the offense. Second down.
Well, to show you what kind of an expert I am, I also thought that Wisconsin would beat Michigan.
Well, you're 50-50. That's not too bad.
That final, in case you just did join us, was Michigan 17, Wisconsin 14. So the penalty going against the Bucks. 2nd and 17 is the count. Lanise in motion. From the 6, Tomczak rifles it right into the arms of Carter, and he's out of bounds at the 26-yard line. Nate Creer on his back. Well, regardless of which way this game goes, both of these schools are going to have a lot to say about the Big Ten championship.
Both of them will be in the race. Here it is, really a courageous pass. Lanise takes the coverage downfield. They hit Carter in the seam. They picked it up. They didn't get greedy to pick up all that yardage. They have third down now. They have a chance to keep possession of the ball.
6 minutes, 45 seconds to go as the clock was stopped on that out-of-bounds play. Don't forget next week, 3:30 Eastern Time here on Sports View, our Big Ten game of the week, Purdue at Michigan State, and then the week after that, it's Michigan and Michigan State from Ann Arbor. Tomczak pours it in there to Lanise, and he's got it at the 36-yard line. Just enough.
Iowa wanted to make the big play. They had a blitz on. The blitz did not get to Tomczak. Tomczak found Carter downfield. Keith Hunter was laying off of him a little bit, but I'll tell you, Mike Lanise, an ex-running back, that was an excellent pressure catch by Lanise.
6 minutes and a half to go. Good shot at Tomczak there as he calls the audible. Oh, Oh, the hole that opens up for Byers. I'll tell you, that offensive line is still driving them. Conference over there on the side of the field of the Buckeyes. That's Earle Bruce with a red baseball cap. 53 years old in his 6th year. Brilliant record during the last 5 years. Best in the Big Ten, as a matter of fact, in the one-loss column of the coaches during the past 5 years. 38-26 is the score. And Tomczak throws it. He's got Lanise for the first down. Again, just enough at the 48-yard line as Nate Creer did everything he could to stop it.
Ohio State's backs and offensive line are doing an excellent job of picking up the blitz. There you see Spitzig coming up. They had a stunt in the line. They picked it up. He drills the ball to Lanise, right, a timing play. First down. Say, perfect control football by Ohio State.
We have 4 minutes and 45 seconds to go. The Hawkeyes still have 2 timeouts. Tomczak is 13 out of 19. Fakes it short and goes long. And it is just off the fingertips of the intended receiver, Chris Carter.
Intended for Chris Carter, incomplete.
Boy, that's one way to put it right out of reach right now is to the defensive people of Iowa. We're thinking short, we're thinking possession, and he pumps the ball and drills the ball just over the outstretched arms of Chris Carter. He might have been able to have that ball. That'd have been a big play for Ohio State. As it turns out, it's 2nd and 10, and Iowa still has a chance.
All in the 40, almost the 49-yard line. The stats on Tomczak, who's gone all the way, by the way, started the game today and has played extremely well. Over the middle, he's got Byers for about 4 or 5. Richard Pryor, number 99, making the stop.
The Ohio State men's cross-country team also love their main.
Well, a nervous walk on the sideline by Hayden Fry. He knows the time is getting short. 4 minutes exactly. And the Bucks have the ball. Carter comes limping out. Chris Carter to this side of the field. Noticeable limp. 3rd and 5. The Hawks can stop him here. They certainly will force the punt, and the pressure goes on Tomczak. He throws it wildly out of bounds. That's the one thing that they're concerned about, and that's mobility because of the broken leg. And you could see there, he definitely was limping just a little bit as he rolled out and just got rid of the ball the best way he could.
But he did show excellent agility there to get rid and get away from that pass rush. That was a good job by Tomczak, and he threw the ball away. He didn't want to risk the interception. He said, hey, let's punt the ball down there and force Iowa to come all the way up the field.
Now, he's got confidence in that Ohio State defense. 3 minutes and 38 seconds to go. Next week, Ohio travels to Minnesota. Iowa returns home to face Illinois. I'm sure we can look forward to a very heated Big Ten race this year. Tupa puts a high floating kick. Comes down to Robert Smith, takes it and runs out of bounds at about the 19-yard line. And that's where the Hawkeyes will take over the ball with the clock showing exactly 3 minutes and 32 seconds to go. So the score is Ohio State 38, Iowa 26. Timeout on the field, and we'll be right back.
Converse All-Stars. They started out on the basketball court, but now
they're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Converse All-Stars. Look for them everywhere. Official athletic shoe of the 1984 Olympic Games.
Hey, guys, I'm back.
Catch anything, Riley?
Yeah, caught this granddaddy of a fish. But when I got him in the boat, he says, I'll give you 3 wishes if you throw me back.
A talking fish?
Well, it was hot. I was thirsty, so I wished for a nice cold Stroh's beer. And there it was. Tasted so good, I wished for another one.
2 wishes, 2 Strohs. And what'd you do with the 3rd wish?
Hey, did I forget my friends?
Strohs and Stroh Light. Fire brewed for smoother taste.
Don't forget, on most of these SportsView Big Ten Game of the Week stations tonight, it's Michigan State and Illinois. Ray Lane and Jeff Logan bringing the game your way from Champaign at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. In the 4th quarter, Purdue is leading Minnesota 20-3. And how about this in the 3rd quarter? Northwestern 33, Indiana 24.
Dennis Green at Northwestern has lost some tough ones. We had the Illinois game. They could have won that one. They lost a tough one to Syracuse on the last play. He'd like to have this one against Indiana.
3.5 minutes to go, and Long pours it over the middle. It is intercepted. Pepper Johnson has got the ball and still on his feet. Out of bounds he goes at the 19-yard line, and for the 2nd week in a row, Pepper Johnson picks off the football. And a chorus of boos are because of a late hit out of bounds. And a couple of flags go down, and that's going to cost the Hawkeyes even more.
If anything happens to Keith Byers, they can put Thomas Pepper Johnson at fullback because he has so much range. Watch him run here. Boy, he's like Walter Payton. Put that ball out there, turn it upfield. He looked good to me, I'll tell you. Whew.
The interception by Pepper Johnson, 13 yards.
Now, there were 2 flags that were thrown, but, you know, now that I look at it again, the contact had been made, and I guess what they wanted him to do was let up, and I really don't think that the tackler intended to do any harm. He just was hanging on. Well, they penalized him down.
Dead ball, personal foul, on the way, first down.
Dead ball, foul, personal foul.
In defense of the young man for Iowa, really, when you're like that and you've got the tackle, you don't know where you are on the field. He wasn't trying to harm anyone, I don't believe. But it is a penalty.
Hard time picking another defensive player this week other than Pepper Johnson. Gosh, the guy is all over the field, and as you said, you know, he's pretty nifty. Call him Twinkle Toes.
And gets so much depth. Wow, he can really get back on pass defense.
1st and goal to go. Ohio State leading 38-26, and the Bucks have the ball with Byers grinding it out to about the 8-yard line. Last week, we counted 6 Washington State players hanging on to Byers, and he still didn't go down. I've never seen anybody with the solid base that he's got. If his hands are size 14 gloves, he must have size 22 feet.
Boy, his hands are large. He looks like he could stand up straight and tie his shoelaces sometimes.
Earle Bruce said it, the biggest hands he's ever seen on anybody. And, of course, I think, as you pointed out, that's the great strength. You just can't rip that ball away from him.
No, sir.
2.5 minutes to go. Pitch to Byers. Waits for the blocks, and coming in from behind, making a good stop, was George Little. You see that pursuit from this senior of Duquesne, Pennsylvania? Good play.
If you ever question the lessons learned on a football field, it's you never give up, and George Little knows it's now or never, and he pursues from the backside, number 77, makes a great play.
Well, a field goal for Ohio State would give them a 15-point lead, and that, of course, would be just that extra little bit, other than a 12. Here they could be in jeopardy with 1:54 to go, but as the clock ticks down, Iowa has only 2 timeouts, and they do not exercise them here, but Ohio State does. Tomczak wants to come to the sideline. He wants to get another score. 1 minute and 46 seconds to go. And the score, 38-26 Ohio State. We'll be right back after this message.
It's
Saturday, October 13th. Something's about to happen that's never happened before. In over 120 cities, people are joining together to be part of the Stroh's Run for Liberty, a 5-mile run where your entry fee helps restore the statue. Sponsored by Stroh's and supported by Brooks Shoes. This is not just for runners, it's for everyone. But most of all, it's for her. So call to enter or sign up wherever you buy Brooks Shoes or Stroh's beer.
Where are you going? To get a Stroh's. That's about a 200-mile hike through heavy snow. I know. If you think of it, get 2.
Stroh's and Stroh Light, fire brewed for smoother taste.
During that timeout period, Mike Tomczak came over to talk with Earle Bruce. With 3rd down and 6, the ball is resting on the 6-yard line. 1 minute and 46 seconds to go, and the Buckeyes lead by 12. End around to Lanise. He's got blockers. Cuts inside. Touchdown. Well, that does it.
People say coaching, how much is coaching? Right there, that was a coaching call. They knew Iowa's defense was going to be jumping on the first guy that was going to go with the ball. It was probably going to be Byers. That time they took it away, hand the ball to Lanise. The defense of Iowa was just wiped out. Touchdown, Ohio State. Great call. Give those coaches credit, Bill.
Come on. 44-26, and Spangler, Mr. Automatic, is in to try to make it the 45th point of the afternoon. Oh, you got to be impressed with the Ohio State offense. 44 points last week. There's the 45th point this week. That's not bad. 89 points in 2 weeks while allowing the opposition only 26. So the clock is stopped with 1 minute and 39 seconds to go. And Ohio State has extended the lead. And we'll be right back after this.
A forward pass, a lateral, and a run to daylight. Hi, this is Bob Greasy for the Sporting News, and we have a play that'll win big for you every time. 2 issues for the price of 1 to introduce you to the Sporting News, the Sports Bible.
That's right. You get 23 issues of the Sporting News for just $9.97. 2 for the price of 1. You can't buy the Sporting News at a lower price anywhere.
It's the magazine that gives me the no-nonsense details of all Major League sports and college action. To love sports is to love the Sporting News, the Sports Bible. Why don't you subscribe today? And here's a friend to tell you how.
That's right, Bob. You get the Sporting News at the low rate of 44 cents an issue. 23 issues for $9.97. That's half the regular subscription price.
To subscribe, call toll-free 1-800-228-5511. That's 1-800-228-5511. That's 1-800-228-5511.
We'd like to extend our thanks to some wonderful help in the booth this afternoon. Bob Connors and Barry Niemeyer, our spotters, and Dave Railsback, who kept our stats. We'd like to thank Rick Bay and the staff of Ohio State University, Steve Snaff and Marv Holman, and along with head coach Earle Bruce and his staff for being so cooperative, as well as the Iowa staff. Bump Elliott, an old friend and classmate at Michigan of mine, the athletic director, head coach Hayden Fry and his staff, George Wine and Phil Hattie of their athletic publicity departments. It's been really a great afternoon of Big Ten football. These 2 teams have played their hearts out. And the kick goes to Iowa. Ronnie Harmon. Boy, what a game he's played. He is a one-tired player. Down he goes at about the 14-yard line. Barry Walker, reserve fullback, making the stop on it. Again, don't forget tonight, Michigan State at Illinois, 8 o'clock Eastern Time over most of these Sports View Big Ten Game of the Week stations. Next week, it'll be Purdue against Michigan State at East Lansing. We hope you'll join us at 3:30 Eastern Time. And then a week from then, or 2 weeks from today, the great intrastate rivalry between Michigan and Michigan State. This one has 1 minute and 34 seconds to run, and it's 45-26 Ohio State. Ronnie Harmon tries to find a little opening, and he does. First down up to the 27-yard line, and the Hawkeyes are still struggling.
Ohio State had 6 defensive backs in the game that time, and they're going to give them that run. There's no question about that, but there's a...
Well, I hope it's not Harmon.
I hope not either, because that young man has played himself one fine football game.
Congratulations to the grand champion in Lot 3.
As I mentioned, Iowa will return home for their Big Ten home opener against Illinois. I think he's all right. I think he just had the wind knocked out of him. As I mentioned, he's got to be tired. He's been really a tremendous workhorse today. Other scores: Michigan defeated Wisconsin in the Big Ten 17-14, what must have been a great struggle in Ann Arbor. Purdue is leading Minnesota now 27-3 in the fourth quarter. Big upset as Georgia defeated Clemson 26-23 in the renewal of what has to be one of the bitterest rivalries in football. Bit of a surprise today. Maryland defeated West Virginia 20-17, and a bigger surprise, Temple over Pittsburgh 13-12. Bonnie Harmon being escorted off, not seriously hurt, just shaken up. Pat on the back to Harmon. 1 minute, 20 seconds to go, clock running. Chuck Long has to throw to the short man, Tim Sennett.
Chuck Long's pass is complete to number 17, Tim Sennett.
If you're Ohio State, you'll let them Iowa have all those, because all they do is just keep that clock running. 1 minute and 3 seconds left.
And the clock is moving. Sennett reports out of the lineup. Ronnie Harmon has come back in. Well, as I say, this game has gone to Ohio State, but don't forget the Hawks are still going to be very much in the running. Beauty to Happel. First down on the 45-yard line of the Buckeyes. Stops the clock with 37 seconds to go. On the Iowa schedule after Illinois, they go to Northwestern and Purdue on 2 successive weeks, and then they will host Michigan on the 20th of October, go to Indiana, host Wisconsin and Michigan State, then go to Minnesota, and then, friends, after the Big Ten season is over, guess where Iowa winds up? The year? Honolulu.
You think we'll cover that one?
December the 1st against the Rainbows. First down. Clock moving now with 25 seconds to go. 45-26, Ohio State's won this one. And Long puts it downfield. Oh, Harmon takes a real pop at the 16-yard line. Oh, that's the worst possible extension you could have. He was stretched out for the pass and was hit from behind. Gary Alders making the stop. So Harmon is down with 17 seconds to go. 45-26 is the score, and we'll be right back after this message.
Can you believe it? JT with an $18 million contract?
Sure is a long way from the playground.
Think he still drinks Strohs? Yeah. Hey, guys.
JT, man.
Richard. Timothy.
This is all right.
Glad he didn't forget his friend.
Or his Strohs. Where is the Strohs?
Out by the pool.
The pool?
Strohs and Stroh Lights.
Now that's a cooler.
Fire brewed for smoother taste.
This bartender's next big league pitcher and loves to serve fire brewed Strohs. See what I mean? That was his fastball. That was the curve. Look out. Wild pitch.
What was that?
Relief pitcher.
Strohs and Stroh Light, fire brewed for smoother taste.
Oh, we were so glad to see Ronnie Harmon get up. Hayden Fry had actually come out onto the field. He was so concerned about it. There he is on the right-hand side. But Harmon says, Coach, I'm all right. Boy, will I sleep tonight.
But he better have some aspirin available, because he is taking a pounding.
2nd and 10. 17 ticks on the clock. Ohio State posting its first Big Ten win of the season against the top Iowa Hawkeye team. Pass to Sennett. And the clock keeps moving now with 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. And they're just going to let it run out. It's all over. And the Buckeyes win it and win it big with 45 points on the scoreboard. Aiden Fry will come over and seek out Earle Bruce. This is Bill Fleming along with Rick Forzano and Jim Bonds, thanking you for joining us today. We invite you to join us next week for the Big Ten game between the Boilermakers of Purdue and the Spartans of Michigan State. That'll be at 3:30 Eastern Time. This has been a Sports View production. Thanks very much for joining us. Don't forget tonight, Michigan State at Illinois at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. So long.
The best things in life are worth waiting for, like a Buick. Buick has been building better cars for years, and now Buick is building the best ever. Best quality, best performance, best in class. Backed by service from your Central Ohio Buick dealer. Stop in today for your value. If he doesn't have the model you want, he'll get it for you, and it'll be worth the wait.
For a good deal, and a good deal more, see one of your Columbus Buick dealers.
Sandcastle Marine, your Mariner outboard and Mercruiser dealer, lets you make your own waves right now. Smash the price reef by channeling 84 discounts on all 85 boats. Save now on the 85 Executive Cruiser Aqua Patio with 40-horse Mariner Electrostart, just $67.95. And save now on the 85 Baja Sunsport Bow Rider with 200-horse Mariner engine, only $11,900. Exit 132 off I-70 East and go 1 mile south. Sandcastle Marine, your Mariner outboard and Mercruiser dealer. Open 7 days a week, 9 till 9.
Shotgun Rapids, Idaho, and Old Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. The shotgun means white water at its best. And Old Milwaukee means a great beer. Cold, crisp, Old Milwaukee beer. And smooth, golden, Old Milwaukee Light.
And Old Milwaukee.
And Old Milwaukee Light.
Taste as great as their name.
You know, guys, it doesn't get any better than this.
The Columbus Dispatch. What's in it for you? The stories behind the scores on gridiron, fairway, or court. The latest looks, books, sales, and shows. The presidential race, space, national and international news. All for you in the Columbus Dispatch. Call 461-5100 for home delivery.
Old storm windows are awkward, heavy, fragile, and need maintenance. Plastic films are cheap but hard to see through, impossible to clean, and ugly. Here's an alternative, the Flex-Tight magnetic interior insulating window. It snaps on inside, helps keep drafts and street noise outside. The frame seals tight like a refrigerator door. It's clear as glass, but lighter, tougher, and a better insulator. And it looks just fine.
Call now for free estimate. We now join the Nebraska at UCLA football game, already in progress.
David Norrie's a big, tall, strong-armed guy.
6'5" to be exact. He was the number 2 quarterback without a doubt coming into fall, but then Stevens kind of narrowed the distance down. Got the start today. Andrews out across the 30 to the 32. Daffer and McCashlin combined on the tackle.
But in no way can you blame this entire first half on Matt Stevens, of course. If it's been a combination of a superb defense by Nebraska as well as an overpowering offense. It's certainly not Matt Stevens entirely his fault, but sometimes a change in quarterback can lift your team.
That was a 10-yard run by Andrews, and that's their longest run from the line of scrimmage. Maybe they can build on that. You look for something now, don't you, when you're down 21-0? You look for any kind of hope.
But when you're a throwing football team, you have a chance against anybody. There's number 9, David Norrie, like we said, 6'5". He's out of Portland, Oregon.
He was the guy that Homer Smith kind of handpicked when he went out to recruit.
Homer's very high on him, but he's only thrown one pass.